When you call Car Beauty, go to carbeautyrealestate.com.
The Connecticut Lottery reminds you that gambling can be a fun form of entertainment, but it's not risk-free, so it's important to play responsibly. Make sure you understand how the games work. Know the odds, set time limits, and take breaks. To find out more, visit ctlottery.org or responsibleplayct.org. Must be 18 or older to purchase lottery and 21 or older to place sports wagers. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
Join Elder House Adult Day Center for a night at the aquarium Thursday, April 3rd from 6:30 until 9:30 p.m. at the Maritime Aquarium at Norwalk. A celebration of community benefiting Elder House Adult Day Center, honoring Rick DeBella and Greens Farms Academy. Hors d'oeuvres, dinner, cocktails, and an auction. Tickets at elderhouse.org/events. The Elder House Night at the Aquarium, Thursday, April 3rd. For tickets and info, visit elderhouse.org/events. That's elderhouse.org/events.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52, and then on both sides you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound, road work from exit 2 down to exit 1, stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have road work starting at exit 15 in the right lane. Traffic report is powered by Courtesy Carpet. Now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices and personal service. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. Now on WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
And according to a new study, no, not from the NRA, not from Cabela's, not from Newsmax, not from Fox, from the State Department of Environmental Protection, Energy and Environmental Protection, Connecticut has by far the highest number of bear-human encounters in the area. They looked at 10 states, and Connecticut, with even less bears than some of those states, has a higher amount of encounters. Why? Because we're the only one of those states that doesn't hunt bears. And this warning comes out over and over and over every year from deep. They say there's a controlled hunt needed, like they do in Massachusetts and other states, to keep the bear population under control. They're not looking to wipe out the bears. What's the problem here? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Well, it's an animal. So was that chicken you had last night. So was that fish you had 2 nights ago. So was that duck or that goose meat you may have had. My God, can we get over it with the bears? I'm not for carpet bombing every bear out of existence in the state, but man, this stuff just frosts me off. It gets me nuts. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. It's not me saying this. I don't hunt. I've never shot a live round of ammunition, but what's the infatuation with not having a bear hunt, a controlled bear hunt? Look how many other millions of pieces of wildlife are hunted and killed. Nobody cares. That chicken sandwich you had today used to be an animal. You didn't care. Nori in Bridgeport starts us off. Nori, hi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. Good. What's up?
Good. I just have a comment, and I don't mean to be smarmy or whatever, but if it's not political drama, now it's bear drama. I just have a comment to make. There are some people who chicken and fish are a problem because they're vegetarians.
Sure.
And we've invaded the bear. You know, the bear was there, and we've built homes and whatever. And so there are other ways in killing them
Apparently they're not, Nori. Apparently they're not. I've spoke to experts on this. They're not. You cannot relocate them. They're territorial animals, and asking people to do things to lessen the encounters, they're not listening, Nori, and there are too many bears in the state now. There are just too many.
Well, it's just your chicken and fish comment. Just we don't eat bear on a daily basis. I don't know anybody eats bear, and I know hunters when they hunt for chicken or fish or deer when they make venison, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
They eat them, but they're hunting to kill the bear, and what do they do with the carcass? They're not eating it, right?
Yeah, but
Are they saving the teeth?
Yeah,
Are they going to stuff it?
Oh, maybe, but it happens. But Nori, all these other states are doing it from a public safety and an ecological point of view. That's the problem.
Well, I think there's something that I read where they can do something to the female or the male so they cannot have cubs. I mean, that might be cruel, but at least you're not killing the animal, so that maybe they can halt the population by, sterilization. Sterilization is maybe an answer. I didn't hear that in any of your. I listened carefully.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about sterilization, and I know you can have a veterinarian, or I think that would be better than just killing a beautiful animal like that. I know there are people that eat every part of the chicken. I know people that have chickens and farms, and they eat they eat the feet, they eat the head, they eat the beak. Everything that they can, they would eat on the chicken. Duck. I know. I just had somebody come back from France. They had duck confit.
Okay.
So but I don't think you're like one-sided. There's got to be sterilization for these bears to halt it. I mean, there's how many? Do you know how many hundreds more that we have?
I've got the number right here. The estimate is that there are about 12 to 1,300 bears in the state. Most of them concentrated in Litchfield County, and because they are not hunted like they are in other states, anthropologically they're starting to venture more into backyards and even into people's homes and garages.
Yeah, well, I think people also there's precautions people can take with their garbage.
Well, they're not, and Nori, they're not taking them. That's the issue. Even state officials say this is not. People aren't listening.
Yeah, well, there's fox and coyotes, and we're going to start killing all. I don't believe in killing the bear.
Okay, I understand it. No,
sterilization, and I take offense that you're bringing up chicken and fish.
Well,
again, people they eat those animals.
I do. My producer, by the way, just said he had bear meat a short time ago. So listen, you can't eat a bear, but I understand your point. It's not an everyday consumable. My only point, Nori.
Who wants to?
I know. My only point is every other state does this. We are surrounded by, and Nori, thank you for the call. I do appreciate the time. Thank you. I do have to run. I'm up against it. My only point is this here, folks, and thank you, Nori. I appreciate it. In a 10-state area that deep analyzed, the other states are able to keep their populations of bear under control. They're not wiping out the bears. Listen, the bears are going to die anyway. And I don't mean to be callous about that. Nothing gets out of here alive. There are hundreds, thousands, millions of creatures killed, and sometimes they're not killed for food. As Nori just said, it's called culling the herd. It's been done for thousands of years. Why are we so hypersensitive when it comes to bears? It ain't Boo-Boo. It ain't Smokey. It ain't Yogi. It's time for a controlled bear hunt, and the state scientists that get paid with your money and my tax money are saying it even more than they've ever said it. What's the problem? Explain to me what the problem is. Take your emotion out of it and look at it from a public safety and from the point of view of ecologically being nice to the bears who are here that have to eat. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. It's time to hunt bears.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52, and then on both sides you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound roadwork from exit 2 down to exit 1, stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have roadwork starting at exit 15 in the right lane. Traffic report is powered by Courtesy Carpet. Now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices and personal service. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning, partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
Need the perfect flowers for any occasion? Trust City Line Florist, Trumbull's local florist for 108 years and 4 generations. From birthdays to anniversaries, celebrations to just because, City Line Florist delivers stunning, high-quality flowers, same day, anywhere in the country. Stop by their beautiful gift shop and greenhouse at 2978 Nichols Avenue in Trumbull, or order online at citylineflorist.com. City Line Florist, making life's moments bloom since 1917.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you. That's 1-888-FREEDOM, consumercellular.com, or our store in Shelton at Bridgeport Avenue and Parrot Drive. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Dine out for half price. It's a sweet deal week at voiceofct.com. Great local restaurants are offering $50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click on the sweet deal banner. Restaurants include AB's Falafel, Little Pub, Joseph's Steakhouse, Twisted Vine, Caloroso Eatery, Gusto, Hair of the Dog, Twin Pines, Sports Center, the Adventure Park, Choice Pet, and more. Buy $50 gift cards for only $25. Go to voiceofct.com, click the Sweet Deals banner.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. President Trump spoke with Ukraine's president for more than an hour today. More details are expected, but there were indications overnight of how tricky the negotiations will be with Russia. Brian Taylor of Syracuse University.
We know Russia hit some hospitals, which of course is not energy infrastructure, but still, they're a long way away from anything that we would consider a settlement of the Russia-Ukraine war.
There were more protests in Israel today because of the resumption of airstrikes in Gaza.
Today we're protesting against the government, against the recent actions the government has taken, risking the hostages while knowing they're risking the hostages.
Wall Street is closely watching the Federal Reserve today for any signal interest rates could be cut. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
Investors will be shocked if the Fed does anything other than maintain a pause on its benchmark lending rate.
On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrials are up 122 points. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
A Stratford man is facing criminal charges after police say he drove 119 miles per hour in a construction zone on I-95 in Norwalk. Police say 24-year-old Raheem Thompson of Stratford was stopped shortly after a state trooper clocked him traveling at excessive speed on Monday. Thompson is charged with reckless endangerment and reckless driving in a construction zone. He was released after posting $2,000 bail. A Danbury man charged in a prostitution and sex trafficking case has pleaded not guilty. Luis Rivera was arraigned Monday in Danbury Superior Court on charges of promoting prostitution and conspiracy. The charges are related to an investigation that began in 2023 when an alleged victim reported that she had become a sex trafficking victim in 2021. Rivera remains in custody on $50,000 bond. Connecticut Democrats are warning about possible cuts to Medicaid funding. Governor Ned Lamont joined other party leaders at a rally yesterday at the state capitol. They claim cuts to Medicaid and other programs are unavoidable if Republicans stick to plans to drastically reduce federal spending. The governor said any significant changes in federal funding could impact the state's two-year budget, which is currently under negotiations with the legislature. Multiple Connecticut tenant advocacy groups celebrated a win last week after the Housing Committee voted to move House Bill 6889 to a vote in the State House of Representatives. The bill calls for an expansion of Connecticut's Just Cause law, which provides protection from eviction to tenants with disabilities or who are over the age of 62. The proposed expansion of the law would extend those protections to a much wider range of renters. State Senator Rob Sampson was a vocal opponent of the bill, saying that it violated landlords' property rights.
The bill is egregious, in my view. It is going to completely undermine the world for a lot of small landlords in particular. You know, it's overkill. It's like using a bomb to drive in a nail. There are not going to be more rental opportunities if this bill passes. There will be less. I don't know if there's going to be 10 less or 1,000 less or 50,000 less, but there will be less.
The number of deaths in Connecticut from accidental drug overdoses last year dropped to the lowest level since 2016. The state medical examiner's office says just under 1,000 people died in 2024 from accidental drug intoxication. That's a big drop from over 1,300 people who died from overdoses in 2023. The last time the number of drug-related deaths was lower than 2024 was in 2016, when 917 people overdosed and died. The state has revoked the medical license of a Shelton doctor who did not address his alleged mental illness. The Connecticut Medical Examining Board agreed yesterday to revoke the license of Dr. Khalil Hussein after he was suspended from practicing in November. A State Department of Public Health attorney indicated to the board that Hussein is a clear and immediate danger to public health and safety. Hussein did not respond to state efforts to notify him of the suspension and revocation actions. 2 people have injuries after a crash at a busy intersection in Orange. Police say the collision happened last night at Marsh Hill and Indian River roads. 2 people were treated at the scene before being taken to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of unspecified injuries. Both vehicles were heavily damaged by the crash, which remains under investigation. It is brush fire season in Connecticut, and state officials are reminding residents to exercise caution. The season runs until mid-May, and residents are encouraged to clear their yards of flammable grass, twigs, leaves, and branches. 2024 was a difficult year for wildfires in Connecticut, with a total of 605 and over 500 acres impacted. Tom Trask from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection spoke with NBC about the need for Connecticut residents to alert authorities should a fire start.
Be fire-wise and make sure that if you do start a fire, call 911 immediately. Without the help of the citizens of Connecticut, it's going to continue to be a fight for us to keep those fires small.
And today was Agricultural Day at the state capitol in Hartford. Over 40 agricultural organizations had booths set up and to showcase their products on the first floor atrium of the Capitol. Governor Ned Lamont also led an awards ceremony where Connecticut farmers were recognized for their products. The focus of the annual event is to highlight the importance of the agricultural industry in the state. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52, and then on both sides you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound roadwork from exit 2 down to exit 1, stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have roadwork starting at exit 15 in the right lane. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Keeping you up to date on everything that matters. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Oh boy, everybody thinks I want to kill Boo Boo. Oh, everybody thinks I want to kill Yogi or Smokey Bear or the Maine Black Bears or the Chicago Bears or the Brown Bears, the Brown Bruins. Are they the Bruins or the Bears? The Boston Bruins. Bruins a bear, by the way. Oh my God, people. Calm down. You should see. I got to get to these texts and emails. Oh, my God. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC, text or voice. Look, it's time for a bear hunt. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The number of people in this state who can't peel their emotion away from a growing public safety issue. And I'm getting all these letters and emails and texts. Well, you know, the bears were here first. Yeah, too bad. And I'm not doing this for effect, but people, will you wake up? This is not me saying this. This is a growing public safety issue. And I have a text message here. Is this bear hunt show a rerun? Seems like it. No, it's not, but I have tackled the issue before, because every so often, using your tax money and my tax money, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection puts out a bear report. I think they do it once or twice a year. And I'm not, what are you all upset at me for? This is deep. You know, Katie Dykes, this is her department, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And they keep saying the situation is getting worse. These are paid professional bear experts. Nobody is saying blow up every bear in Connecticut. They're talking about controlling the population. By the way, a quick look up here I found. Of the 41 states, there are 41 states that have a significant or a countable black bear population. You know how many allow hunting? 32 of them, including a lot of blue states. Across the West, the Midwest, the Northeast, hunting, says here, is a common tool used by wildlife agencies to manage bear populations and reduce potential conflicts with humans. What's the problem? I don't understand it. Connecticut will always have a bear population, but the states around us who also have bear populations don't get all weepy-eyed. They do what their scientists tell them to do to keep the population at a manageable level. The new report from DEEP found that Connecticut had more than 3,000 human-bear conflicts in 2024. You know how many they had in Massachusetts? And Massachusetts has about twice the number of bears Connecticut has. You know how many they had in Massachusetts? 645. You know how many they had in New York? 1,194. You know how many they had in West Virginia? 1,227. Massachusetts has twice the number of bears. You know why they had fewer conflicts? Because the bears fear humans. because there is a bear hunt allowed, a controlled professional bear hunt in Massachusetts. Although most of the conflicts involve bird feeders and trash, and yes, you people, stop feeding the birds. They don't need the cheap suet that you're buying at pet stores. They've been around for a while. They also included 2 attacks on humans, 67 incidents of bears breaking into homes. There you go. Maybe you want boo-boo in your kitchen, huh? The current bear population is estimated to be between 1,000 and 1,200. Female bears produce 2.5 cubs a year. They have about an 80% first-year survival rate. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection has focused thus far on a public education campaign encouraging state residents to be bear aware. Remove bird feeders, secure their trash cans, secure areas with electric fencing. Of the 10 states examined in Deep's bear report, only Connecticut does not allow bear hunting. Massachusetts, for example, sees an average harvest of 245 bears a year. It's 5% of the population, although most other states saw much larger percentages tied to their bear hunting season. So again, folks, I don't hunt. I've never fired a live round of ammunition. But people here don't listen. And something is going to happen. Another text I got here. What are they waiting for? A child to be dragged into the woods and eaten? Which also almost happened 2 years ago. Up in Morris, Connecticut, outside Brookfield. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. We need a bear hunt. Start a bear hunt. We're not going to carpet bomb every bear in the state. Please, people, relax. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
Why don't we do more to avoid absentee ballot fraud and restore voter confidence in our state, especially in Bridgeport? Those questions resurfaced after 5 people in the city faced a judge last month for charges connected to the 2023 primary mayoral election. We're going to ask those questions tomorrow morning at 7:35 of Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas. She joins us in studio.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
AB's Falafel announces this $16 weekday lunch special. Come for lunch and enjoy the most flavorful falafel sandwich, chicken shawarma sandwich, or beef shawarma sandwich, all served on a fresh pita with fries and a soda for only $16. AB's Falafel is consistently voted best Middle Eastern food in Connecticut. Now offering a complete weekday lunch special for only $16. Come have lunch at AB's Falafel, 10 Broadway Road, Trumbull, and absfalafel.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52, and then on both sides you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound roadwork from exit 2 down to exit 1, stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have roadwork starting at exit 15 in the right lane. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Everything you need to know to stay informed. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli is back on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
And it's time to start a controlled, not a crazy, not something out of control, out of crazy town here, but a controlled bear hunt. And this is what experts have been saying in Connecticut for years here, and I'm doing this. Again, I know people are saying, is this a rerun show? No, it's not, Toots. It's a new report out by state scientists saying, hey, the bear situation is getting more and more dangerous. I have an email here. Hi, Paul. I come from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm sure our bear population greatly outnumbers Connecticut. We had much less drama about this than you're portraying in Connecticut. We never had a bear mauling, and when you call about a bear, they say leave it alone. We got to be careful with trash and bird feeders. I've seen a black bear close to our property and just lumbering in a wild space. I don't have a problem with killing a bear, but you sound a little dramatic. Well, you know, I'm what's the word? I'm befuddled at the ability of people not to do what the experts say in the state. Good to hear from you. By the way, you say you came from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I just checked. Maybe the situation there is better, seriously, because Colorado has a bear hunting season. Colorado offers both limited, says here, and over-the-counter licenses with options for archery, muzzleloader, and rifle hunts, and some hunts are also available as add-on licenses to elk or deer hunts. So, you know, yeah. There are states where the bears aren't as aggressive as they are here because we hunt them. And our legislature actually has a spine and doesn't listen to a bunch of animal rights people who think they want to blow away every boo-boo and yogi and Smokey Bear. They say that's not what it's about. And the bottom line is people don't listen. Deep has said it themselves. We beg people, secure your garbage and don't put out bird feeders. And guess what? People still put out bird feeders. You know what a bird feeder is to a bear? It's like an antipasto to an Italian. Oh, look, finger food. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Over the past 5 years, there have been 16,000 bear conflicts in the state, concerning trash, bird feeders, and some structural damage, accounting for the top 3 types of conflict. And this is happening because people don't listen. So what's going to happen when somebody gets mauled here? And there will be a mauling. See, this is why they keep doing these reports, because they're going, we're warning you, we're warning you. It's kind of like leaving a loaded gun in a room. We're warning you here. Not me saying it, it's the bear scientists. And even Katie Dykes, the Deep Commissioner, quote, despite all our efforts, conflicts continue to increase, demonstrating that non-lethal methods are not sufficient tactics to successfully reduce human-bear conflicts. Did you see what she said there? Even she wants a bear hunt, but she can't say it because the environmentalists are going to crawl up her backside. This is just mind-numbing to me. The states that have less conflicts have bear hunts. What's so difficult to understand here? Nicole and Darien. Hi, Nicole. You're on WICC. What's up?
trying to unpack everything that you're saying. I'm a little concerned that you're actually doing a disservice to public safety because a bear hunt would do nothing to prevent bear-human interaction.
That's not what the experts say.
Really? Because there's a study from Wisconsin that would say otherwise, and you want to know the reason. It's because where a bear hunt would take place is not where the so-called nuisance bears are. It would be deep in the woods. It wouldn't be in your backyard because of regulations.
Yeah, but what I have read from
but
the bear experts here in the state say because we don't hunt, they anthropologically don't fear humans like they fear them in other states. For example, in Massachusetts, where they have far more bears and far fewer encounters.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of science out there that says otherwise, that actually, in fact, the bear population, there's no correlation between bear population and human bear interactions. And I think it's also a disservice you talk about all the, you're saying bear-human interaction reports, but
that's not me saying it. That's deep. That's the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
I've done Freedom of Information Act requests in the so-called the state's bear conflict reports. I didn't see 2024, but I have 2023. 1,117 were interactions with trash cans. 653 involved bird feeders. 171.
Okay, no, Nicole, I get that. I don't doubt that. I get that. I get that.
These are not.
Okay, Nicole, I get that.
Words matter.
Okay, words matter.
And
okay,
this is fear-mongering.
Nicole, it's not fear-mongering. Nicole,
okay. Yes, it is.
Okay, Nicole. Now let me ask you something. What's your idea? What, Nicole? What's your idea? Let me.
Act request for bear home entries.
Oh, say, can you say? I mean, come on. You let me talk here? What is your answer? You have state officials, Nicole, with all due respect.
Well,
you have state
officials.
officials.
Right now, because I'm going to testify at the public hearing on Monday.
Okay. So there's a public hearing coming up. So we have state officials, including Katie Dyke, saying people are not paying attention. Nicole, why do all these other states?
I work with Jenny Dixon from Connecticut DEEP saying that we have to work together on public education.
So what's the answer?
All of these things are preventable.
So what's the yes? And we're not preventing them.
You know what? We believe legislation that could be beneficial because, again, a bear hunt is not going to.
Why do
keep
other states do it? Why do other states
do it? Because it's a trophy hunt.
Oh, here we go.
It's a moneymaker.
Nicole, listen. By the way,
I've studied the New Jersey Bear Activity Report.
Okay.
And I could send them to you during these hunts.
So you just don't want any hunting. You just don't want
activity. I'm not saying that. You're not letting me finish. I'm just stating the facts that during hunting years in New Jersey, the activity went up. So meaning they still went after bird feeders, they still went after trash.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
They still went after chickens.
That's my point.
What's your point? It shows that a hunt does nothing.
But then
human bear interaction.
But Nicole, let me ask you something. The scientists saying, you say you know people are deep, right? You said that, right? Do they not say that the bear population is increasing every year, right?
But they don't know because, by the way, there's been first of all, there's no correlation between population and conflict anyway.
Is the population so deep as
go there? They haven't studied the population since 2014.
Okay, so deep is lying then.
No, they would.
Is deep lying?
There was a study.
Yeah.
They aren't saying they've studied the population. They're guessing by how many cubs.
I have the numbers right here. Yeah.
But that's not an actual bear population study that they commissioned in 2014. I think we would all agree on that.
No, no, I don't. I just go by what the experts saying here. I'm not an expert here,
but I'm going by what the experts are saying too. If you read all the articles that are coming out right now, they're guesstimating that that's what the population is. There's no study.
Okay, so what's the answer? Let me ask you something. What's the answer? What's the answer?
There should be legislation that if you live where bears live, that our residents need help.
Yeah.
They need a grant. They need to be required to use bear-resistant trash cans. and they need to be required not to put their trash out until pickup.
But what if
they need to take their bird feeders down before March and November?
Does this keep Mr. and Mrs. Bear from creating little baby bears?
Well, I can't predict how, like, if it's going to be a good acorn year or not. I mean, that's the food supply.
Nicole, I do have to run, but I would like you to call back once you testify at that hearing, and we can discuss this even further. Will you do that? The hearing is what, next week, right?
It is Monday.
Yeah, the 24th. Yeah. So call me back after that.
Are you? Oh, we're going to talk about this again next week?
Well,
Sure.
why not? Yeah, I mean, you said you're going to testify, so why wouldn't you want to be my one of my correspondents here? You know.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Okay, Nicole. Thanks. Appreciate it. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52, and then on both sides you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound roadwork from exit 2 down to exit 1, stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have roadwork starting at exit 15 in the right lane. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hello, Fairfield County. You're invited to come and enjoy the R.D. Cinto free community Shakespeare event series at R.D. Cinto in Shelton. Nights with Shakespeare features a dramatic weekly play reading of Twelfth Night with actor Leo Schaff. Nights with Shakespeare is free and open to the public. It's every Tuesday at 6:30, now through April 29th, at the Cinto Auditorium at 3 Corporate Drive in Shelton. Learn more and attend. Go to nightswithshakespeare.com for more information.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to BetterNestEgg.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC's 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
Text here, hey, Paul, do you really need to repeat this over and over for 2 hours? I think we get it. Well, last time I checked, thank you for the text, my name's on the show, right? So if my name's on the marquee and I want to blow away Boo Boo and Yogi, can we do? I'm kidding. It's just a joke.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Federal Reserve is keeping interest rates where they are for now, but signaling it expects to cut rates 2 times this year. It has concerns about where the economy is going. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
The central bank's updated quarterly forecast is projecting U.S. GDP to grow 1.7% in 2025, down from a 2.1% forecast in December, while the Fed is also raising its unemployment projection for the year from 4.1 to 4.4%, and the Fed is also expecting slightly higher inflation.
President Trump spoke with Ukraine's president today about ending the war there with Russia. Linda Kenyon has some details about the call.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, among other things, the president discussed Ukraine's electrical supply and nuclear power plants.
He said that the United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure and support for Ukrainian energy infrastructure.
The call follows discussions between Trump and Russian President Putin a day ago, during which Putin agreed not to target Ukraine's energy infrastructure, although that pledge was violated hours later. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration is holding up funding to an Ivy League school over its trans athlete policy. Matt Piper has that.
$175 million in federal funding for the University of Pennsylvania is now suspended. The Trump administration did it over a transgender athlete in its swim program. Swimmer Leah Thomas joined the women's team, then went on to win an NCAA Division I title. A post on X from the White House says, promises made, promises kept. President Trump graduated from UPenn in 1968.
A federal judge has temporarily blocked the EPA from canceling more than $20 billion in climate-related grants. Christopher Cruz reports.
The judge said the agency had failed to provide sufficient evidence that the grants were examples of waste and fraud. EPA Chief Lee Zeldin canceled the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund grants earlier this month, saying, among other things, that there was waste and abuse in the program. But the judge said the grant termination letters contained no factual support for the cancellations.
There is extreme weather across the country again today. Blizzard conditions possible in the Midwest and Great Plains and high winds. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore.
50, 60, maybe even approaching 70 miles per hour as the storm system moves into the eastern half of the United States, and weakening as it does so as we go into the weekend.
The Vatican said today Pope Francis is improving and no longer needs mechanical ventilation to help him breathe. He has been hospitalized with double pneumonia. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials currently up 468 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The state has revoked the medical license of a Shelton doctor who did not address his alleged mental illness. The Connecticut Medical Examining Board agreed yesterday to revoke the license of Dr. Khalil Hussein after he was suspended from practicing in November. A State Department of Public Health attorney indicated to the board that Hussein is a clear and immediate danger to public health and safety. Hussein did not respond to state efforts to notify him of the suspension and revocation actions. Today was Agriculture Day at the state capitol in Hartford. Over 40 agricultural organizations had booths set up to showcase their products in the first floor atrium of the Capitol. Governor Ned Lamont also led an awards ceremony where Connecticut farmers were recognized for their products. The focus of the annual event is to highlight the importance of the agriculture industry in the state. And it is brush fire season in Connecticut, and state officials are reminding residents to exercise caution. The season runs until mid-May, and residents are encouraged to clear their yards of flammable grass, twigs, leaves, and branches. 2024 was a difficult year for wildfires in Connecticut, with a total of 605 and over 500 acres impacted. Tom Trask from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection spoke with NBC about the need for Connecticut residents to alert authorities should a fire start.
Be fire-wise and make sure that if you do start a fire, call 911 immediately. Without the help of the citizens of Connecticut, it's going to continue to be a fight for us to keep those fires small.
I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
84 westbound crash in Newtown at exit 9, and on 95 southbound, an accident involving an overturned vehicle at exit 39A and B. On 95 northbound in Stamford, another accident approaching exit 9. On the Parkway, Upper Merritt southbound roadwork exit 53 down to 52. And then on both sides, you have it between exit 44 and exit 46. On 8 and 25 connector southbound roadwork from exit 2 down to exit 1. Stay to the left to get through. And on Route 8 northbound, you have roadwork starting at exit 15 in the right lane. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high in the low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, we got a couple of bills coming up for debate in Hartford next Monday about maybe allowing a bear hunt here in Connecticut. Everybody needs to calm the you-know-what down, all right? Calm down. I'm not advocating blowing every bear up in the state. I don't want to see piles of bear hamburger everywhere. All right, that's not what I'm talking about. I am constantly amazed that I guess 2 or 3 times a year, the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection puts out a report saying, hey, there are too many bear encounters in the state. Maybe we may want to consider a controlled, you know what the word controlled means? Only so many licenses, only so many tags. A controlled bear hunt like other states do, because Deep says this is getting dangerous now for people and for kids. But, oh, my God. I was just talking to a staff member here at the Connoisseur in the kitchen. Person was hearing the calls coming in, and this person said, well, I grew up in, X part of the country away. And this person said, well, we had bear hunts every year. It kept the bear population down, and they weren't nearly as aggressive as this person said they find them here. Email here, please stop, Paul. If you want to argue a point, argue that more open space should be set aside for animals. Okay, that's never going to happen. People should not put out bird feeders. Agreed, but they still do, which attract bears. And if you have chickens, consider an enclosed coop or yard. Yeah, but the bears can get through that. The way Connecticut is going, there won't be any empty lots left. Yeah, that's right. The bears deserve to live in peace without having constant infringement on their homes or being constantly goaded into human conflict. Well, I don't, the friend of mine who found a bear in his garage, I don't know if that was being goaded or not. In Trumbull, a developer wants to develop forest land on Unity and Booth Hill. There's most definitely going to be a disruption of wildlife in the area. Your solution is just to kill because it's the animals in the way. Now, that's not fair. I never said that. I may have said it tongue-in-cheek. All I said was we should stay away from being not the only state that doesn't have a bear hunt. Why don't we just do what 32 other states do? That's the question I have for you. And I'll restate it this way. 41 states have black bears. 32 of them have bear hunts. What's the problem? I don't agree with you on this one. Okay, thank you. No, you don't have to agree. Hi, Paul. We need to hunt not only the bear, but the deer as well. I was in New Milford with clients in their car behind me when a big mama bear came running out of the wooded area, crossed in front of my car, and ran to the other side of the road. I was so close to her in my car that I could see the blue in her black coat. Yikes. Beautiful animal, not one I want to tango with. We slowed down to see if the babies would follow. They did not, and she must have been going up a hill to them. If I was going a little faster, she would have damaged my car and probably killed me. After that, my client canceled their showing at the home down the road, said they were scared to have a black bear come into their yard. All right. Listen, this happens. I understand it. But I am not in any way, shape, or form advocating that we just carpet bomb bears. What I'm saying is what Deep is saying, what the governor has said, what the commissioner has said, maybe it's time to move into the modern age on this. But what might you think, Are you going to be out there with your muzzle loader hunting bear or what? Looking for boo-boo. I see you, Smokey. Yeah. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Before the break, Larry and Patricia. Hang on. I'll be with you. Bob and Trumbull. Bob, what's up?
Hey, Miss Reverend Paul.
Yes.
They should have bear hunts, and they can use the meat for the food insecurity that our senators keep yelling about.
Yeah, I've heard. Mr. Williams, our news guy, he says he's eaten bear meat.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, and
yeah, it's not bad. It's a little tough, but but if you cook it right, it's actually pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
But then some people had the question. Then there's two questions.
Yeah.
Thinking of what other people said.
Okay.
I mean, and you said that, there's black bears breaking into houses.
Yeah.
Are they sure they're bears?
Okay. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC.
Going out to eat for half the price? There's only one word to describe that. Sweet. It's another week of sweet deals at voiceofct.com. Half-price gift cards to your favorite locally owned restaurants and businesses. But when the sweet deals are gone, they're gone. And they go fast. So don't wait. Stay local and save some dough. Grab the half-price sweet deals now at voiceofct.com.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. Last year, more consumers switched to Chevrolet than any other automotive brand. Why? With more standard passive and active safety features than any other brand, plus easy-to-use technology like wireless Apple CarPlay, Chevy simply builds in more value. And who doesn't love getting more for their money? With fresh inventory arriving daily, see for yourself at Carl Chevrolet, 261 Elm Street in New Canaan, or online at carlchevy.com.
Experience unparalleled customer satisfaction at Sono Collision, where our excellence in service meets top-notch repair to restore your beloved vehicles. When you choose us, you're choosing supreme expertise that ensures flawless results. Be it minor dent or major damage, our skilled team breathes life back into your car. Visit us today at sonocollision.com. That's sonocollision.com. Your car will thank you.
At Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull, we understand that planning for life's milestones is important. But what about planning for your funeral? While it may be difficult to consider, pre-planning can ease the burden on your loved ones during a challenging time. By planning now, you can ensure that your wishes are honored without leaving emotional or financial strain on your family. Visit abriola.com to learn more about our compassionate pre-planning services. Plan today for peace of mind tomorrow.
Sometimes the most important personal breakthroughs are made possible by medical ones. And that's why Smilow Cancer Hospital delivers the pioneering research of Yale Cancer Center, like targeted therapies based on your genetic makeup and groundbreaking clinical trials that offer hope when you need it most. All delivered by a multidisciplinary team dedicated to you and your specific type of cancer. Smilow Cancer Hospital and Yale Cancer Center. We're powering breakthroughs with the greatest of care.
Touchdowns, goals, spikes. What was this week's play of the week in local high school sports? Check out the high school sports play of the week at therudenreport.com. See and subscribe. Powered by the new Genesis of Richfield, located in Norwalk.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound to Milford, overturned vehicle, exit 39A and B. Only one lane is getting through. Backup starts on Long Wharf. Northbound delays start as you come off the Milford connector. On the Upper Merritt southbound, residual delays making their way through Milford and Stratford because of an earlier problem that's been cleared. On the Merritt Parkway south in New Canaan, a vehicle fire near exit 36. Left lane is getting through. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliafson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high in the low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Got something to say? Give Paul a call. 203-333-9422. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
41 states in the country, 41 have measurable black bear populations. 32 of them allow bear hunts. Most of them controlled, meaning that whatever their environmental departments are, they keep an eye on who has the licenses, how many bears you're allowed to take. You know what a controlled hunt versus somebody just going out there and, going nuts on the population of any animal. So why don't we do that here in Connecticut? And again, the reason I bring this up is there is yet another report that's been released by the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. It says Connecticut has far more bear conflicts than neighboring states who have bear hunts. State report finding Connecticut had more than 3,000 human-bear conflicts in 2024, far outpacing just 645 in Massachusetts, 1,194 in New York State, even West Virginia with 1,227. And what makes this even more amazing here is that Massachusetts has twice the number of black bears. Most of the conflicts involve bird feeders and trash. Yes, because people don't listen. They also include 2 attacks on humans. 67 times bears broke into homes last year. You all right with that? Hey, Yogi, come on in. We'll watch the Yankees. Okay. That's more than triple the number since 2019. Yet there are people saying, no, leave it alone. See, this is what I don't get. At what point do we do something? Because, again, and I know there were people at issue with this. I respect their desire to be at issue, but I'm going to listen to people who have the big business cards or whatever unless they're proven wrong. Connecticut's bear population has been increasing steadily since the early 2000s. I guess there was a time we only had 200 or 300 bears. That wasn't too bad. Now it's 1,200. Yes, because Mommy and Daddy Bear like to get together and, make little baby bears or at least practice. So again, Katie Dykes, the commissioner of DEEP, she said, despite efforts, conflicts continue to increase, demonstrating that, here's what she said, don't get mad at me, non-lethal methods are not sufficient to successfully reduce human-bear conflicts. She didn't exactly say a hunt, because if she said we need a bear hunt, oh, madon, giffi, woofa, they're going to go nuts. Hey, Joe, hang on. Larry the Cable Guy's with us. Larry, how are you?
Good, Paul. How are you?
I'm good, Larry. You doing any hunting out there or what? What do we got?
Well, I used to hunt. I used to deer hunt. I used to hunt up in Shelton.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I used to donate blood to the Red Cross, too, and I went in there one time to donate, and I was in my Blaze Orange, and this woman that was taking the blood that I had, talked to several times before.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're one of those murderers!
Oh, come on! Did she really do that? Oh
yeah. But I said to her, "So you got grandkids, right?" She said, "Oh yes, I do." I said, "Would you rather have me cull the population of deer, or would you rather cull the population of deer with your car as you have your grandchildren in the car with you?" But you know what, Paul? Common sense. It just lacks on a regular basis. Like you were saying, you have to cull the population. What's going to kill a bear? There's nothing in the state of Connecticut except for a car.
Yeah.
Baby cubs can climb up a tree to get away from coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
So what is going to cull the population? That's the reason why the population rises.
Yep.
And when the population rises, there's more conflict with people. And it's a simple, just common sense, like you were saying.
Exactly. Larry, thank you. Appreciate the call, my friend. Yeah, again, I've read interesting articles that have said, anthropologically, there are generations. I mean, you figure since the beginning of the 2000s, so 24 years? Genetically, anthropologically, the bears have less fear because this stuff is culled, and I'm sorry, it's not culled. It contributes to the psyche of an animal, a wild animal, and it's passed down. Hey, those funny looking things that walk on two legs and are a lot skinnier than us, they're not shooting at us anymore. Hey, look, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what Deep is saying, and I don't want to be sitting behind this microphone talking about a story that's all over the state, the country, and the world about how some kids, like what happened up in Morris, Connecticut a couple of years ago, got mauled by a bear. Again, why doesn't Connecticut simply do what other states do? Of course we're going to have to live with bears. I get it. But the folks at Deep are right. People don't listen. How long have we been listening to don't put out bird feeders, seal your trash cans, scrub your grills clean? Well, it doesn't mean that we have to kill the bear. No, I understand that. But if you have half the people not holding up their end of the bargain, what do you do? And Joe in Guilford's here. Hello, Joe. What's up?
So we're kind of a victim of our own success. Back in the 1800s, 1700s, Connecticut clear-cut all the trees to make room for farms, for food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the farms move out, the trees come back, we preserve the land, we regrow the forests in a large part of the state. Well, guess who moves back? The bears. The bears move back. They have more area to roam about. So we've done a very good job of preserving land for the bears to come back, other animals too, bobcats, you name it.
Yeah.
To flourish, really. So we're kind of a victim of our own success. So when people say, well, there's not enough room for animals, no, that's the very reason why the animals have come back, is because we've done a great job of preservation.
Yeah. And again, there is a delicate balance here, right, Joe? I mean, listen, we do have to coexist side by side, but you're talking about human beings versus animals who are wild animals, but they do have some instinctual activity about them, right?
Well, you give the animal an opportunity to roam in his natural habitat. And that happens, and you butt up against a residential complex, you're going to have interaction that maybe not very advantageous for a human, for a dog or a chicken, like you said.
No.
But, so maybe you need to control the population. I don't know. I'm not an expert. But, that's what happens when you preserve so much land, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, guess who moves back?
Well, all
look
the
at
bears
this. And,
they got
everybody moves back.
You're right. Now, Joe, you're in Guilford. Do you see any bears out there in your end of the shoreline or not, where you are?
I've not like in downtown Guilford, but if you travel up north, I've seen them run by. But that's to be expected.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially
the DEP. Deep said there's a lot more bears, so they got to go someplace.
Yeah, well, they like that area, that nice high-income area, Route 77, Route 80, right up there. they like that area.
Yeah,
right?
there's lots of room. There's lots of trees. There's lots of forest.
Yeah,
and the houses are spread apart.
Yeah,
where they can kind of sneak around.
Yeah,
and enjoy the habitat. So I don't know what the solution is, but when people say, well, we're killing, we're taking away their habitat. No, we're not. That's why they're back.
All right. Joe, appreciate it. Thank you. Got another email here from one of our emailers. Of course, I'm not including grizzlies. No, I was, to the person who emailed me, I was just being facetious. Well, I mentioned I don't think we're going to be blowing away, Boo Boo and Yogi and the Boston Bruin. Boy, that'll get Melissa, man. That's or the Brown Bruin or whatever. Hey, Jake in Norwalk. Hello, Jake. How are you?
Okay, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Jake. What's on your mind?
So I live in the West Rocks area of Norwalk.
Okay.
And they're half-acre lots.
All right.
And about 2 months ago, a friend of mine was out walking at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, boy.
And there was a black bear, 2:30 in the afternoon.
Now, was this friend, like, did the bear, was it on the path or on the street or in the in the brush? Where did that friend see it?
It was on the street. It's a, what they call a cul-de-sac neighborhood.
Yeah.
So there are, a couple of loops and a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
They have quiet half-acre lots.
Yeah.
And 2:30 in the afternoon, and it was docile. It saw her and ran away.
Oh, good.
From what I understand, they're more afraid of us than we are of them.
Yeah. Boy, what did was she? She must have. What? I mean, she must have been really frightened. Was she, or did she act? They say you're supposed to make noise and act big.
Yes.
Don't show fear. What did she do?
I don't know. I should ask her.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
I know she's a medical professional, so
Okay.
she's probably seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Okay. Jeez.
Couple other interesting things.
Yeah.
Bears are related to raccoons.
Really?
The same, species. Well, not species, genus or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
gene line. Yeah.
Yeah, they're related to raccoons.
Yeah.
And it's just black bears in Connecticut. But
yeah, we don't have. Yeah.
I'm guilty. I put out bird seed.
No, Jake, I do have to run. Thank you, sir. I'm against attack. Come on, Jake. No. I know. Listen, we love to see the birds, right? Don't we come in and people, look, and they get their cameras on, and the videos are great. But people, please. Now, if you must put out your bird feeder, check online. I'll check for you on the break. The months they say you can and can't or shouldn't do it. All right, we'll do that. I'll get some bird seed, and we'll be right back on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound to Milford, overturned vehicle, exit 39A and B. Only one lane is getting through. Backup starts on Long Wharf. Northbound delays start as you come off the Milford connector. On the Upper Merritt southbound, residual delays making their way through Milford and Stratford because of an earlier problem that's been cleared. On the Merritt Parkway south in New Canaan, a vehicle fire near exit 36. Left lane is getting through. Traffic report is powered by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliafson and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give: peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hey, it's Melissa Sheketoff. We had 2 trees actually damage our fence last year, and working with K&J right now is a no-brainer because they have great deals happening right now instead of just waiting till the springtime like all those other companies. Whether you need tree trimming, removal, or stump grinding, they're offering aggressive winter discounts off of all of their services. Plus, did I mention they offer financing for up to 60 months? Go online to kjtreeservice.com. That's kjtreeservice.com.
The future is here at Cadillac of Greenwich. Experience the all-new 7-seat electric Escalade IQ, the best-selling luxury electric vehicle SUV Cadillac Lyriq, and the brand-new dual-motor all-wheel drive Cadillac Optiq SUV, now available at CadillacofGreenwich.com. Arrive in style with the pinnacle of modern automotive design and elevate your driving experience. Iconic moments drive legendary hospitality at Cadillac of Greenwich. Let's take the Cadillac.
When disaster strikes, whether it's a house fire, furnace malfunction, or burst pipes, trust me, Felicia, the owner of Robin Hood Adjusters, to be your advocate. With over a decade of experience, I specialize in increasing the settlement value of your insurance claim and shielding you from unethical lowball offers by the insurance giants. Visit RobinHoodAdjustersCT.com and see how I can help protect your interests and get you the compensation you deserve. At Robin Hood Adjusters, I work for you.
Support the Bridgeport Rescue Mission through Jersey Mike's Round Up program and Day of Giving. All month long, round up your purchase or donate directly at participating Stamford and Greenwich locations. On March 26th, the Day of Giving, 100% of sales go to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Your contribution provides hot meals, housing, clothing, addiction support, and life skill classes to those in need. Together, we provide hope and make a difference. Visit brm.gives for more information.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News special report. As expected, the Federal Reserve has kept its benchmark interest rate unchanged for now, but it did signal that it expects to cut rates twice this year. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
When you hear the Fed say no change, we can afford to be patient, I think this is that extra uncertainty around what's the tariff situation going to mean for the economy.
Business reporter Jason Brooks.
The market is happy to see that the central bank is still forecasting 2 rate cuts in 2025 in the Fed's updated projection. The Fed isn't as optimistic about the economy, forecasting 1.7% GDP growth in 2025, down from its 2.1% forecast in December.
Aside from a slowing economy, the Fed also expects unemployment to tick higher. And on Wall Street, investors were watching the decision closely. The Dow Jones Industrials currently up 263 points. CBS News Special Report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Funeral services were held today for Yale University police officer Gregory Swiatek, who died after suffering a medical event last week. Calling hours were held yesterday at a funeral home in East Haven, and hundreds of people came out to pay their respects. Swiatek's line-of-duty death funeral was held this afternoon at Toyota Oakdale Theater in Wallingford. The officer leaves behind a 10-year-old daughter. Connecticut Democrats are warning about possible cuts to Medicaid funding. Governor Ned Lamont joined other party leaders at a rally yesterday at the state capitol. They claim cuts to Medicaid and other programs are unavoidable if Republicans stick to plans to drastically reduce federal spending. The governor said any significant changes in federal funding could impact the state's 2-year budget, which is currently under negotiations with the legislature. A Stratford man is facing criminal charges after police say he drove 119 miles per hour in a construction zone on I-95 in Norwalk. Police say 24-year-old Rakeem Thompson of Stratford was stopped shortly after a state trooper clocked him traveling at excessive speed on Monday. Thompson is charged with reckless endangerment and reckless driving in a construction zone. He was released after posting $2,000 bail. The number of deaths in Connecticut from accidental drug overdoses last year dropped to the lowest level since 2016. The state medical examiner's office says just under 1,000 people died in 2024 from accidental drug intoxication. That's a big drop from over 1,300 people who died from overdoses in 2023. The last time the number of drug-related deaths was lower than 2024 was in 2016 when 917 people overdosed and died. A Danbury man charged in prostitution and sex trafficking cases has pleaded not guilty. Luis Rivera was arraigned Monday in Danbury Superior Court on charges of promoting prostitution and conspiracy. The charges are related to an investigation that began in 2023 when an alleged victim reported that she had become a sex trafficking victim in 2021. Rivera remains in custody on $50,000 bond. The biological mother of a man who was imprisoned in his family home in Waterbury for over 2 decades is speaking out. With that story, here is Sarah Lee Kessler.
She spoke exclusively and anonymously with NBC4 Connecticut, saying bluntly,
"She could rot in hell."
The 56-year-old stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, is charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment. The 32-year-old man told police he set fire to her Waterbury house last month to get their attention. He was 5'9" and weighed just 68 pounds after his stepmom allegedly held him captive in a locked room for 20 years.
She needs to actually spend the rest of her life in solitary confinement and fed 2 cups of water a day.
Kimberly Sullivan is pleading not guilty.
More than $100,000 has been raised for that victim. The The 32-year-old man weighed just 68 pounds when he was rescued from the home this month by setting a fire that brought an emergency response. The fundraiser is being run by Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury. 2 people have injuries after a crash at a busy intersection in Orange. Police say the collision happened last night at Marsh Hill and Indian River Roads. 2 people were treated at the scene before being taken to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of unspecified injuries. Both vehicles were heavily damaged in the crash, which remains under investigation. Multiple Connecticut tenant advocacy groups celebrated with a win last week after the Housing Committee voted to move House Bill 6889 onto a vote in the State House of Representatives. The bill calls for an expansion of Connecticut's Just Cause Law, which provides protection from eviction to tenants with disabilities or who are over the age of 62. The proposed expansion of the law would extend those protections to a much wider range of renters. State Senator Rob Sampson was a vocal opponent of the bill, saying that it violated landlords' property rights.
The bill is egregious, in my view. It is going to completely undermine the world for a lot of small landlords in particular. You know, it's overkill. It's like using a bomb to drive in a nail. There are not going to be more rental opportunities if this bill passes. There will be less. I don't know if there's going to be 10 less or 1,000 less or 50,000 less, but there will be less.
And March Madness will begin this week with multiple teams from Connecticut competing. The back-to-back national champion UConn men Huskies will take on number 9 Oklahoma at 9:25 p.m. Friday in Raleigh, North Carolina in the first round. The UConn women will open the NCAA tournament versus number 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday. That's at Gamble Pavilion at 1 p.m. on WTNH TV News 8. The Yale Bulldogs will head to Denver to face the number 4 seeded Texas A&M Aggies in the NCAA tournament's round of 64 at 7:25 p.m. Thursday. And the Fairfield women will face number 4 Kansas State in the round of 64 at 2:30 p.m. on Friday in Lexington. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle approaching exit 39 A and B. Nobody is getting through right now, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Northbound delays start before the Milford connector. Expect lots of overflow traffic on the Wilbur Cross and Route 8 because of that issue. On Lower Fairfield County on the Parkway, southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. Northbound delays start in Stamford. 95, the northbound side plan on up to an hour from Greenwich going through Bridgeport. Maybe some breaks along the way through. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over. During the evening hours, there will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high in the low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Our phone lines are always open. 203-333-9422. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
Oh, man, are people upset with your host today? Yikes. Woo-hoo. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC voice or text. All I did in the name of keeping you folks up to snuff here is all I did was read excerpts of a new report here highlighted in the Inside Investigator page here online. Our buddy Mark Fitch and his staff. Connecticut has far more bear conflicts than neighboring states. That's not according to just me. That's not according to some sporting goods company. That's not the NRA. That is the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And they point out that we have more conflicts, likely because we don't have a bear hunt. Now, again, I don't hunt. I've never fired a live round of ammunition. I have no desire to go hunting. So I can divorce myself from that. But man, oh man, I don't understand the recalcitrance in this state. What's the big deal? We hunt deer, don't we? We hunt pheasant and fowl, don't we? We kill millions of chickens a year. And I know there are people who are vegetarians and vegans who don't ascribe to any animal killing. I get that. I understand. But you know what I'm saying here. Can we just be a little consistent here? What's the big deal? As long as it's not indiscriminate and crazy, what's the big deal? It's called culling the herd. It's been done since the beginning of time. You know, when they and you are overreacting to this. Come on, admit it. We have this overreaction to anything to do with animals or hunting sometimes, some of us. Do you realize how man, and when I say man, I mean men and women, we have been butchering living things since year one. Whenever year one was. If we knew when year one was, or if I knew, I'd be on the lecture circuit right now. I'd be giving TED Talks. But you know, somebody at here at Connoisseur said to me one of the other times I've done this topic, we were laughing about it, and they said, well, they think bear hunters are killing Yogi. Or Boo Boo, or Smokey, or the Chicago Bears, or the Maine Black Bears. You know, Dan Malloy's little operation up there in Maine. There, but my God, isn't that interesting? How we don't realize, or maybe we do, but we don't want to consider it. These are wild animals, and again, I know, I get it, I understand it. You know, do we have to live in concert with wild animals? Yeah, we should. I get it. I understand it. But mankind has been dealing with animals, and whether you like it or not, killing animals for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years. But now, you know what the difference is? Oh, look, I took this phone video of a bear in my backyard. How sweet. Well, it wouldn't be sweet if your grandson was out there right now, or your granddaughter. And it just drives me nuts that we're here because people don't pay attention to what the state tells them. And by the way, to that last caller who admitted he cleansed his soul right here on my show and said, yeah, he puts out bird feeders. The state says if you choose to put out bird feeders, do so only in the winter months. So put them out December, January, February, March. That's because that's when Yogi and Boo Boo and Mr. and Mrs. Bear are making their little cubs. That's when they're hibernating. All right? So if you're going to put out the Antipas for bears, only do it in those months. Back to the phones momentarily, 203-333-9422. Call or text 333-WICC as we continue.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
Why don't we do more to avoid absentee ballot fraud and restore voter confidence in our state, especially in Bridgeport? Those questions resurfaced after 5 people in the city faced a judge last month for charges connected to the 2023 primary mayoral election. We're going to ask those questions tomorrow morning at 7:35 of Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas. She joins us in studio.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
Hi, I'm Lee Gainham, that garden guy from Gainham's Garden Center and Florist in Fairfield. Do you have questions about your garden? Tune into that garden guy Sunday mornings at 8 for an hour of lively talk about your favorite pastime. We'll have weekly do's and don'ts and gardening tips of the week for our specific area, and we'll take your phone calls so we can offer solutions to problems you may be having in your lawn and garden right now. Call in and talk with me, that garden guy, Sunday mornings at 8 on WICC 695.9.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using hair growth saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Growth today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle approaching exit 39 A and B. Nobody is getting through right now. Has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Northbound delays start before the Milford connector. Expect lots of overflow traffic on the Wilbur Cross and Route 8 because of that issue. On Lower Fairfield County on the Parkway, southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. Northbound delays start in Stamford. 95, the northbound side plan on up to an hour from Greenwich going through Bridgeport. Maybe some breaks along the way through. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Fiorek on WICC.
Listen while you're at work at voiceofct.com. Now back to Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
One more segment on this. Our Facebook question of the day. Bear encounters in Connecticut still far exceed those in other states. Is it time for a controlled bear hunt as you have in surrounding states? That's on Facebook, facebook.com/voice of CT. Let's be nice to each other. Let's not call each other names. On Facebook, let's see what's there. Melissa says yes. Carl says no. I think the law should be if they're in your yard, you should be able to shoot them. Other than that, leave them alone. Carl, that is the law, I believe, right now. They passed it a couple of years ago that if you or your property or you have loved ones, whatever, if anybody feels threatened by a bear, then you can take them out. Before you couldn't. John says leaving them alone is what caused the issue that we have. Mark says trap and take them out of the state to Vermont or Maine. It's not rocket science, but Democrats have no common sense. Now, we don't have to go there. Matt says to Mark, how about Vermont trap their bobcats and bring them here? What makes you think Vermont wants our bears? That's funny. Here. Hi, I'm from Connecticut. Yeah. Have a couple of bears for you? What? Get out. You lefties in Connecticut? Sean said yes. It's time for a seasonal bear. You people, I love you. I really do. I love you all. But we should move the bears to Vermont or New Hampshire. Yeah, hi. This is Governor Ned Lamont. Governor Phil Scott. Hey, Phil. Phil Scott up there in Vermont. Hey, Phil, I love you, man. Will you take 500 of our bears? Hey, Ned, go pound sand. Gary in West Haven is here. Hey, Gary, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Just want to make a couple of points.
Sure.
One, with the bird feeders,
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that the bears are going to be attracted, but you're also going to get vermin like rats and mice, and you don't want that around your house anyways.
No.
The other thing is, you're not going to believe this, but 25 years ago, I was going north in the northeastern part of the state on 195, the Blue Highway.
Yeah.
And mountain lion. I couldn't believe my eyes at first. I stopped my truck. I got out, and there was a cub, a mountain lion cub, about the size of a small retriever, walking up a driveway where there was a tricycle in front of the open garage. And then I followed it with my camera. I wanted to take a picture of it. It went down a gully, came up on the other side, and there on a stone wall between two fir trees was its mother, and she was huge. And it was unmistakably a cougar. I called several agencies, and the only person, an Audubon person, called me back and said, off the record, they said, don't say that you heard it from us, but you're not the first person who's had a sighting. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like when we started seeing wild turkeys and other game that, can serve as food to some of these predators, you're going to have an upsurge. I mean, that's nature. The problem with the tree huggers is a lot of them, they don't understand how nature works. They like it in the abstract, but they don't understand it. And hunters, responsible hunters, do. And it's just like if you've got a bear population that's exceeding its habitat, you've got to have kills. You've got to thin out the herd. That's just basic. And if you can't understand that, then you need to educate yourself.
And Gary, thank you for the call. Appreciate that, man. That must have mountain lion. Yikes. Oh. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Always good hearing from you there in West Haven, where part of my mother's family spent their latter years there. Yeah, and here's the question I have for, and I loved you folks calling in if you didn't see eye to eye with me. What if we're sitting here 5 years from now? And I'm just posting a what if here. And Deep says, now maybe it's going to be less, who knows? Maybe they come up with some sort of, I don't know, can you put out sterilization munchies out there? Hey, I don't know. But what if 5 years from now, Deep says, well, we're way past 1,200 bears. Now we're at 1,800 or 2,000. Because why'd you have so many bears? Well, Daddy Bear gets home and he puts on a little Barry White, breaks out the Beaujolais Nouveau and things happen. You know what I mean? Come on, you laughed at that. You see, this is part of the concern here that you don't get any viable answers to. They say, and again, I'm not a bear expert. I don't claim to be one. I simply read the coverage here, read what the commissioner is saying, read what the governor is saying, read what some legislators are saying. The situation is getting a little more difficult to deal with. At what point do you say, is there a magic number? Is there, I don't know. Who knows what these conversations have been like? Are there key legislators or the governor? Do they say, hey, all right, if anything happens, God forbid, we'll do an emergency bill and we'll say the heck with what people think. We're going to sign this into law. I don't know. I don't know. Because you do know that, off the record, outside of public hearings, away from the cameras and the microphones and the print reporters, obviously the legislature has discussions with people. Hey, how bad is this? Whatever. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. So again, if you want to chime in, bear encounters in Connecticut still far exceed those in other states. Is a time for a controlled bear hunt, as they have in many other states. Of the 41 states that have measurable bear populations, 32 have some aspect of bear hunting. Okay. And I guess what you read is the goal is to cull 2% of the population a year, between 2 and 5%. Hey, well, listen. And look, I don't wake up and say, oh, man, I'd love to kill a bear today. No. When you see video of a bear or, God forbid, if you see a bear in person, you're a little scared, but you're looking at it. As humans, look, you're not fully human if you don't, if you don't in some way have a marvel at an animal. The only people that don't like any sort of animals are nuts. We are living, breathing things, so even with a quote-unquote wild animal that could do you harm, they don't consider it wild. It's impulse. It's instinct. But they think, and we don't, at least on a level we can understand. But look, you're not human unless you look at an animal, whether it's a deer, a moose. You get moose vehicle versus mooses up there in the northwestern and northeastern part of the state. That can't be good. I hit a baby deer once, or not baby, a young deer once. And the weirdest spot, I-91 in North Haven, in the middle of in the middle of all those industrial parks. Going to work one morning at another radio station, and I thought it was a dog. A state trooper calls me back a little while because I couldn't stay there with it because I was on schedule to do stuff for the morning show at this other station. And the trooper called back, said, Mr. Pacelli, this is Trooper so-and-so from whatever barracks, Bethany Barracks at the time, said, hey, that wasn't a dog you hit. That was a small deer. Wow. Brand new car, too. $3,000 damage. 1990 Toyota Celica GT. Oh, great car. Still miss that car. Best front seat and dashboard layout I ever had. Let's do this, and we'll get back to the phones. Traffic and weather together right here, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle approaching exit 39A and B. Nobody is getting through right now, has things backed up onto Long Wharf. Northbound delays start before the Milford connector. Expect lots of overflow traffic on the Wilbur Cross and Route 8 because of that issue. On Lower Fairfield County on the Parkway, southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. Northbound delays start in Stamford. 95, the northbound side plan on up to an hour from Greenwich going through Bridgeport. Maybe some breaks along the way through. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
No part of your home is more important than the roof over your head. Hi, I'm Eddie Griffin, the owner of Brown Roofing, your local expert for roof replacement and roof repair. Water resistant, weather resistant, wind resistant, our products offer superior protection that come with a 50-year lifetime transferable warranty. Call us today at 475-445-1195 or visit us at brownroofing600.com. Brown won't let you down.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to BetterNestEgg.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC's 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
Yeah, keep it right here. News coming up top of the hour from Chris Williams and CBS. Ken in Bridgeport takes us there. Ken, how are you? What's up?
Hey, Paul. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, last summer I saw a dead black bear in Jersey, North Jersey, on one of the interstates. That's a clear sign of overpopulation. Same with the deer. And it's a shame, all that wasted meat. I mean, I think they should have the deer hunt in Connecticut because I've seen black bear in Trumbull and, with the job asked people like different towns I go to, like in the wooded area, if they've seen bear in the backyard. They said most of the time, they always see black bear.
Yeah. How big was this one you saw in Jersey? Fully grown or a cub or what?
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was a big bear. Huge.
Jeez. All right, Ken, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, and Ken's point is interesting. Yeah, when the population starts like oozing over. And by the way, for you folks that, we're encroaching on you don't think mankind, men and women, you don't think mankind has been encroaching on animals since the beginning of time? And again, I'm not saying you can't be concerned with it, but we need to stop thinking that just because it's 2025 and we have this concern, which is good, it's good to be concerned rather than have a callous unconcern. But can we stop thinking that we're suddenly so, I don't even know how to play. We're suddenly so moral about anything? No, we're not. Mankind is vicious.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Federal Reserve is leaving a key interest rate unchanged for now, but signaling it expects to cut rates twice this year. It is watching the economy grow more slowly. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The Fed has to wait and see how uncertainty and tariff tit for tat and escalation, how that impacts the economy, the labor market, and the inflation rate.
President Trump spoke by phone today with Ukraine's president. Trump says they spoke for about an hour, and he said the call was to align the needs of both Ukraine and Russia to bring about a ceasefire. Linda Kenyon reports President Trump has a unique idea for the way forward.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump suggested U.S. ownership of Ukrainian power plants would be the best protection against further Russian attacks. Leavitt also underscored intelligence sharing with Ukraine will continue. And when it comes to military aid,
President Zelensky asked for additional air defense systems to protect his civilians, particularly Patriot missile systems, and President Trump agreed to work with him to find what was available.
Yesterday, Trump and Russian President Putin spoke for about 3 hours, and on Sunday, top officials will arrive in Saudi Arabia for peace talks on Monday. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Israel announced today it's resuming ground operations in Gaza and issued a last warning to Gazans, urging them to return the hostages and remove Hamas from power. Many Israelis are concerned about the resumption of fighting, as Rami Inocencio reports.
Reaction from here in Israel has been emotional from the families and supporters of hostages still in Gaza in particular. It's anger, exasperation, fear that this renewed bombing will kill their loved ones.
Some good news from the Vatican about the Pope. CBS's Sabina Castelfranco.
Doctors say that Pope Francis continues to improve from pneumonia and no longer requires non-invasive mechanical ventilation to help him breathe better at night.
Arizona executed a death row inmate today. It is the second of 4 executions scheduled this week across the nation. In Warren, Michigan, there was a protest by teachers drawing attention to the impact of dismantling the education department.
I appreciate you being out here today, bringing awareness to our community about what is going on at the federal level, that it would impact across our school district.
Bob Callender, president of the local teachers union.
About $15 million in federal funding comes into our school district alone. That's easily 150 to 200 staff positions that could be impacted if cuts are made at the federal level.
On Wall Street, investors were paying close attention to the Fed's decision. The Dow finished 384 points higher. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Unbelievable.
All right. Those are the sounds of tax accountants rejoicing after experiencing the power of Blue Jay, the leading generative AI solution for tax research. Tax season is here, and if you're an accounting firm, the pressure is on. Long hours and tight deadlines make this time of year a challenge for even the most seasoned tax professionals. So, tax accountants, here's your solution. Blue Jay, the preferred partner solution of CPA.com for tax research. Ask a complex tax question, and Blue Jay gives you better tax answers in seconds. Save time and maximize your clients' refunds with high-speed, accurate, and intuitive AI technology built with a library of only the most trusted tax resources, updated daily to keep up with changes in tax. For a limited time, save 40% off at bluejay.com/start now. That's BLUE, the letter J.com/start now. Or text taxes to 511-511. Blue Jay, generative AI for better tax answers. Text taxes to 511-511 today. Tax fees may apply.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The biological mother of the Waterbury man who was imprisoned in his family home for over 2 decades is speaking out. With that report, here is Sarah Lee Kessler.
She spoke exclusively and anonymously with NBC4 Connecticut, saying bluntly,
"She could rot in hell."
The 56-year-old stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, is charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment. The 32-year-old man told police he set fire to her Waterbury house last month to get their attention. He was 5'9" and weighed just 68 pounds after his stepmom allegedly held him captive in a locked room for 20 years.
She needs to actually spend the rest of her life in solitary confinement and fed 2 cups of water a day.
Kimberly Sullivan is pleading not guilty.
More than $100,000 have been raised for the victim. The 32-year-old man weighed just 68 pounds when he was rescued from the home this month by setting a fire that brought an emergency response. The fundraiser is being run by Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury. The state has revoked the medical license of a Shelton doctor who did not address his alleged mental illness. The Connecticut Medical Examining Board agreed yesterday to revoke the license of Dr. Khalil Hussein after he was suspended from practicing in November. A State Department of Public Health attorney indicated to the board that Hussein is a clear and immediate danger to public health and safety. Hussein did not respond to state efforts to notify him of the suspension and revocation actions. And March Madness will begin this week. There are multiple teams from Connecticut competing. The back-to-back national champion Yukon Huskies will take on number 9 Oklahoma at 9:25 p.m. Friday. In Raleigh, North Carolina, this is in the first round. Now, the Yukon women will open the NCAA tournament versus number 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday. This is at 1 p.m. at Gamble Pavilion on WTNH-TV News 8. The Yale Bulldogs will head to Denver to face the number 4 seeded Texas A&M Aggies in the NCAA tournament's round of 64 at 7:25 p.m. Thursday. And the Fairfield women will face number 4 Kansas State in the round of 64 at 2:30 p.m. on Friday in Lexington. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle between exit 40 and 39. Things have backed up onto Long Wharf. At this point, northbound side onlooking delays start before the Milford connector. Lower Fairfield County Parkway southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. And on 95 north, over an hour from Greenwich to Bridgeport, maybe a couple breaks along the way through. Traffic report powered by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices and personal service. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, a lot more coming up. We're joined now by a gentleman we like to chat with every so often regarding energy policy in the state, and he represents a lot of folks who serve the heating oil customers of the state and other aspects of that. It's the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association. Chris Herb is with us, watching what is done and not done and may be done at the state capitol. Hey, Chris, it's Paul here. How are you? Good afternoon.
Paul, good to hear your voice. Thank you for having me.
What is going on now with the Capitol? I know there is some stuff that you folks have been keeping me and the other hosts in the state up to date on, and I'm reading some of this stuff, Chris, going, really? So what's the skinny there?
Yeah, well, actually, right now as we speak, the Government Administrations and Elections Committee is debating a bill that we opposed that sounds good at first blush. It's supposed to give a constitutional right to all Connecticut citizens to clean air, clean water, and clean land. And you know, I live in Naugatuck with my 2 sons and my wife, and, you know, all that sounds really good. But the other states that have adopted these constitutional amendments, they end up translating into doing nothing to clean air, clean water, and clean land, but they allow attorneys to take action in court to sue the state, municipalities, potentially your neighbors and your consumers just based on not being able to have those rights protected because you use natural gas to heat your home or diesel in your Ford truck. That's being debated right now, and unfortunately, from our count, the bill will come out of committee. Not good.
And Chris, I am reading that this tactic is now being used because other tactics to get stuff passed because they weren't up to snuff or people were concerned enough about it just didn't pass here. The governor was not happy about some stuff. So now, you know, Chris, listen, I agree with you. We all want a clean environment, but when you start enshrining that are things, Chris, that are kind of abstract ideas, really, into a state constitution. I can just see, with all due respect to our lawyer friends out there, I can see them licking their chops with the billable hours adding up here.
Oh, I can see the billboards popping up on 95 to contact them over your right to clean air. Yeah, exactly. And what really disturbs me is that this year, because again, I almost sound like a monster to say that I opposed a bill that would give us a constitutional right to clean air. But when you see the experience that's played out in nearby New York and other states, really what it ends up doing is costing you money to defend yourself because you heat with oil, or you heat with natural gas or propane. You drive a gasoline-powered car instead of an EV. And I think you're exactly right. This type of legislation comes out of frustration that they didn't pass the mandate to only sell electric vehicles. Defeating that last year, they're trying to find other pathways, and to do it through the courts is wrong. The people should decide the policies that are enacted through the legislature, and the legislature didn't pass that for a good reason, because the people didn't want it. So don't now put this in the hands of lawyers and judges.
Chris Herb, the head of the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association, joins us. I mean, Chris, come on, this is Connecticut here. We're not in, you don't hold up a picture of Connecticut and see some of these European cities or places in India or China that have smog and air so bad you can cut it with a knife. I think we're doing, Chris, mainly by market-driven initiatives and what people feel in their guts. I think we're doing pretty well with the environment, I think.
You know what? Actually, a report just came out and said that Connecticut is the fourth best state in the country when it comes to energy conservation, which obviously when you conserve the fuel that you use, you lower emissions. So I would actually say we're doing very well. This is not necessary, and it will end up becoming very costly. And we also heard testimony. This didn't come from us, but people that are a little bit more aware in the housing industry, that neighbors have used this to prevent developments from being built because it's going to add so many cars and so many oil heat systems and propane systems that they believe that violates their right to clean air because the particulate emissions that would be caused by building those houses. Well, if anyone shopped for a house now, you know what they cost. This type of legislation will only escalate the prices for housing.
Yeah, and Chris, finally, I know that there's been worry, too, that technically under some regulations and some bills and this and other stuff being considered here, that you might have a possible scenario of, hey, what's your name? Oh, my God, my neighbor's using this sort of fuel here, or, I'm going to report him or her. Sounds nuts, but that's kind of a real fear in this, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think you nailed it on the head. There's a lot of things to be fearful, and that is clearly one of them.
Interesting. So here's the question now. This is going to pass out of committee. You know how things work. Everything that comes out of committee doesn't really end up having a floor vote. Usually, if the votes aren't there, they won't vote. What are you hearing from rank and file, if anything, members of the House and Senate on this?
Sure. I do believe that this will struggle to get through the process. First of all, because we're going to oppose it, and our customers, we're asking our customers to reach out to legislators to oppose it. So just like previous fights, we're fully engaged. You can't let your guard down with anything in Hartford. So I think it has an uphill battle to climb, hill to climb, from the standpoint that this takes a little bit more. It takes 3/4 votes of the legislature to approve it, and then it has to go to referendum. So it has to clear a couple hurdles after it gets out of committee.
Sure. And finally, Chris, what do you say to people who hear you on this station and others say, oh, there's that guy. He represents the oil dealers and the home energy dealers. Of course, he's going to be against this. What's your response to that?
Well, you and I have had this discussion before. We have made a transition to biodiesel and bioheat, which are renewable heating fuels. Our industry is sincere about trying to make sure that we provide the best fuel at the lowest price that's the cleanest and most environmentally friendly. We're delivering on that promise. So this is not about protecting oil companies. This is about protecting higher costs for energy based on lawsuits and out-of-control policies that will just make it unaffordable to live here.
The group is the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association. Our friend Chris Herb. Hey, Chris, thanks, and keep us up to date on this, okay?
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Chris Herb there. Yeah, and this is, and again, like Chris said, this committee vote today. It's only a first step. It takes a big series of steps to change the Constitution. But again, look, I'm not even a lawyer. I have very little working knowledge of how this stuff goes. But really, you're going to change the Constitution and subject it to abstract ideas of what's a clean environment? I mean, think about that. And of course we want clean water and clean air and clean soil. But my God, you're going to put this in a constitution. And listen, you don't have to be on one side or the other to realize the bevy of lawsuits and smiling lawyers that this is going to create.
There's so many in our community who make a positive impact, from innovators and leaders to local businesses and nonprofits. They do so much for Connecticut. We will recognize them with the WICC Impact Awards, and we need your help. Submit your nominations now across 6 categories at voiceofct.com. Then join us on May 14th at Fasano's Four Seasons in Stratford as we recognize your nominees. Honor those who've helped to make Connecticut better with the WICC Impact Awards.
Hi, I'm Peter from Donut Delight. Donut Delight has used Steve Bassel Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 1994. From installing plumbing in our new stores to maintaining our existing stores and our personal homes. Their guys have always been very professional and great to work with. Donut Delight has been very happy with Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
Looking for a reliable dentist in your neighborhood? Columbia Dental's Norwalk office is here for you. Located at 91 East Avenue, our team of general dentists and an oral surgeon are ready to serve you. As part of the Columbia Implant Center network in Manchester, we offer 7-day-a-week services, including an in-house digital dental lab for same-day emergency care. Visit our website at columbiadental.com for more information and to book your appointment today. Your smile is our priority.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Fairfield County, it's here. The Bridgeport Regional Business Council's Engaging Grow Expo, Thursday, March 20th at Total Mortgage Arena. Admission is free. Explore hundreds of businesses, network, and attend expert-led workshops. Plus, experience Fairfield County's hidden gems. Attend Engage and Grow, March 20th at Total Mortgage Arena. Thank you to M&T Bank, the Greater Norwalk, Milford Regional, Greater Valley, and Fairfield Chambers of Commerce, and Bridgeport DSSD. Info at brbc.org. Pre-registration encouraged.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle between exit 40 and 39. Things have backed up onto Long Wharf at this point. Northbound side onlooking delays start before the Milford connector. Lower Fairfield County Parkway southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. And on 95 north, over an hour from Greenwich to Bridgeport, maybe a couple breaks along the way through. Traffic report powered by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices and personal service. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Saying what you need to hear. Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli. Only on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
You know, if you're about my age, late 50s, early 60s, you may have grown up hearing the same mantra I did. Coming of age, looking for jobs, right? We may have heard it from our parents or adults. Hey, what you make on a job or what an employee pays you and what salary you choose to accept is nobody's business except yours and your boss's, right? Right? Hey, what does so and so make? I don't know. And you're whispering in the office who makes. And it's a natural thing, right? To wonder about that. Well, the leftist Democrats up in Hartford, they want to open that all up. I swear, some members of the majority in Hartford, they must wake up in the morning and say, how can we screw with businesses in the state today? Job seekers, it says here in the Connecticut News Junkie, Donald Eng's story, there is a bill now that would require employers to disclose salary ranges for job openings upon request. Now, remember when you and I we used to interview for jobs, and what did we hear? Don't be careful about asking for about money, right? Let the boss bring it up. You had to tread lightly in that area. House Bill 6517 cleared the Labor and Public Employees Committee. Party line vote, 9-4. 9 Democrats, 4 Republicans, like the Republicans have a shot. Representative Ann Hughes, Democrat Easton, it's largely to stop wasting everyone's time. Oh, my God, what a lame excuse. You go through the application process and have no idea until the third interview what the wage is. Yeah, Ann, it's called being an adult. You have to tell me what the salary is. No, I mean, my God. This has been a huge issue that we've addressed in the legislature because largely women are underpaid because they lack the transparency about what their male counterparts would be offered for the same position. So apparently now the Democrats in Hartford want no privacy of salary. Well, you have to say what the range is. My God, can you stop effing with businesses in this state? Republicans on the committee argue that requiring the disclosure of wage and benefits information could put state businesses at a competitive disadvantage. What happened to the days where it was not your right to know what somebody else at your business made? Seriously. Well, Paul, there could be wage discrimination. Okay, and you know what? I don't care. If it means that you get to know what I make, no. My God, we have no privacy anymore. One state legislator said, Representative Joe Canino Torrington, if employers don't want their competitors to know what they're paying employees, isn't that not reasonable? Canino said, for example, under this law, an employer would have to provide competitors with a detailed description of all the benefits they offer, and that allows employees to enter negotiations with all the information they otherwise would not have. He also said the proposal could have the effect of causing discord within the workplace, warning against chaos in the workplace when, of course, employees learn what new or prospective employees are being paid. But no, we have to know that now. Oh, my God. Jeez. Instead of lowering our electric bills, let's screw with employers. Well, you have to. No, and this is the Labor Committee. You know, Julie Kushner. Listen, the Labor Committee is controlled by the unions in the state. There is no viable concern for white-collar businesses on the Labor Committee. There's no viable concerns for anything Republicans might say. There's no viable concern for business privacy or anything. The Labor Committee at the General Assembly is a rubber stamp for the labor left. State Senator Julie Kushner, Democrat Danbury, who I think has been honored a couple of times by the Communist Party of Connecticut, I'm not kidding, seriously, argued that by knowing what the wage range is, a person would be less likely to undervalue their own work and might be more likely to negotiate for pay within that salary range. She said, but wait, there is nothing in the statute requiring employers to pay a certain amount or provide certain levels of benefits. Has she ever hired people? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking that honestly. Do lawmakers who pass bills like this, have they ever had to meet a payroll? Have they ever had to negotiate a salary? Have they ever had to negotiate benefits? So, listen, I guess rather than lower our electric bills or give police more tools they need to keep the roads safer or to lower your taxes, the enduring purpose of the Labor Committee and the majority Democrats in Hartford is to further tie the hands of state businesses because, of course, everybody gets to know what everybody else is going to make.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound in Milford, overturned vehicle between exit 40 and 39. Things have backed up onto Long Wharf at this point. Northbound side onlooking delays start before the Milford connector. Lower Fairfield County Parkway southbound accident remains exit 36. Stay left to get around it. And on 95 north, over an hour from Greenwich to Bridgeport, maybe a couple breaks along the way through. Traffic report powered by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices and personal service. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe. Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy, the high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
A.G. Williams Painting. A.G. Williams Painting. The people you trust to do the job right.
Imagine your house perfectly painted. Fresh colors, clean lines, looking better than ever. And now imagine a painting experience that's just as good. We're talking friendly painters, easy communication, and never feeling in the dark. With A.G. Williams Painting, you don't have to imagine it.
A.G. Williams Painting. The people you trust to do the job right.
A.G. Williams Painting has been painting in your neighborhood since 1906, and they know how to do it right. You'll love their team, too. A.G. Williams Painting has career craftspeople who are totally dedicated to their work and invested in your project. That means peace of mind and a paint job you can be proud of.
A.G. Williams Painting. A.G. Williams Painting. The people you trust to do the job right.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing. Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at Walmart.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the risk of recession is up, but not high. The Fed's keeping interest rates where they are for now.
Labor market conditions are solid, and inflation has moved closer to our 2% longer run goal, though it remains somewhat elevated.
President Trump spoke with Ukraine's president today about ending the war, and one of his ideas for protecting Ukraine's infrastructure, allowing the U.S. to take ownership of Ukrainian power plants. Spokeswoman Caroline Levitt.
He said that the United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise.
The UN says one of its workers was killed in Gaza today, where Israel has resumed airstrikes.
In my opinion, this was not an accident. It cannot be categorized as an accident. It is at least an incident.
The UN's Jorge de Silva, 5 others were hurt. Israel has announced it's resuming ground operations in Gaza. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 417. CBS News Brief. I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
The number of deaths in Connecticut from accidental drug overdoses last year dropped to the lowest level since 2016. The state medical examiner's office says just under 1,000 people died in 2024 from accidental drug intoxication. That's a big drop from over 1,300 people who died from overdoses in 2023. The last time the number of drug-related deaths was lower than 2024 was in 2016 when 917 people overdosed and died. A Stratford man is facing criminal charges after police say he drove 119 miles per hour in a construction zone on I-95 in Norwalk. Police say 24-year-old Rakeem Thompson of Stratford was stopped shortly after a state trooper clocked him traveling at excessive speed on Monday. Thompson is charged with reckless endangerment and reckless driving in a construction zone. He was released after posting $2,000 bail. A Danbury man charged in a prostitution and sex trafficking case has pleaded not guilty. Luis Rivera was arraigned Monday in Danbury Superior Court on charges of promoting prostitution and conspiracy. The charges are related to an investigation that began in 2023 when an alleged victim reported that she had become a sex trafficking victim in 2021. Rivera remains in custody on $50,000 bond. Funeral services were held today for the Yale University police officer who died after suffering a medical event last week. Calling hours were held for Gregory Swiatek yesterday at a funeral home in East Haven, and hundreds of people came out to pay their respects. Swiatek's line-of-duty death funeral was today at noon at the Toyota Oakdale Theater in Wallingford. The officer leaves behind a 10-year-old daughter. It's brush fire season in Connecticut, and state officials are reminding residents to exercise caution. The season runs until mid-May, and residents are encouraged to clear their yards of flammable grass, twigs, leaves, and branches. 2024 was a difficult year for wildfires in Connecticut, with a total of 605 and over 500 acres impacted. Tom Trask from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection spoke with NBC about the need for Connecticut residents to alert authorities should a fire start.
Be fire-wise and make sure that if you do start a fire, call 911 immediately. Without the help of the citizens of Connecticut, it's going to continue to be a fight for us to keep those fires small.
Connecticut Democrats are warning about possible cuts to Medicaid funding. Governor Ned Lamont joined other party leaders at a rally yesterday at the state capitol. They claim cuts to Medicaid and other programs are unavoidable if Republicans stick to plans to drastically reduce federal spending. The governor said any significant changes in federal funding could impact the state's 2-year budget, which is currently under negotiations with the legislature. 2 people have injuries after a crash at a busy intersection in Orange. Police say the collision happened last night at Marsh Hill and Indian River roads. 2 people were treated at the scene before being taken to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of unspecified injuries. Both vehicles were heavily damaged by the crash, which remains under investigation. Multiple Connecticut tenant advocacy groups celebrated a win last week after the Housing Committee voted to move House Bill 6889 onto a vote in the State House of Representatives. The bill calls for an expansion of Connecticut's Just Cause law, which provides protection from eviction to tenants with disabilities or who are over the age of 62. The proposed expansion of the law would extend those protections to a much wider range of renters. State Senator Rob Sampson was a vocal opponent of the bill, saying that it violated landlords' property rights.
The bill is egregious, in my view. It is going to completely undermine the world for a lot of small landlords in particular. You know, it's overkill. It's like using a bomb to drive in a nail. There are not going to be more rental opportunities if this bill passes. There will be less. I don't know if there's going to be 10 less or 1,000 less or 50,000 less, but there will be less.
And today was Agriculture Day at the state capitol in Hartford. Over 40 agricultural organizations had booths set up to showcase their products in the first floor atrium of the Capitol. Governor Ned Lamont also led an awards ceremony where Connecticut farmers were recognized for their products. The focus of the annual event is to highlight the importance of the agriculture industry in the state. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound to Milford is closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Parking lot starts back on Long Wharf, and northbound you have onlooking delays starting before the Milford connector. Wilbur Cross southbound heavy overflow traffic delays from North Haven down through the tunnel to Route 34 because of folks avoiding the problem on 95. Wilbur Cross northbound, an accident in Meriden at the 91 merge has things backing up towards Wallingford, and on 691 eastbound, an accident at exit 5 lower Fairfield County 95 north over an hour Greenwich to Bridgeport, and maybe a few breaks along the way through. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high and low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Listen on Alexa.
And you'll never miss a moment.
Back to Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
I have a serious question here, and I'm not doing this for effect. Oh, he's just looking to get a rise out of people. No, I have a serious question here. I'm dead serious on this. Can someone please explain to me the infatuation, the sacramental fascination, if you will, that majority Democrats in Hartford have with migrants, with illegals here in this state? And I ask that because even the National Democratic Party and many big leaders around the country are saying, yeah, we kind of blew it on immigration. We really didn't understand the scope to how people feel about this and how they perceive it. And yeah, listen, hate Trump, but he kept hammering immigration, and it worked. He got elected twice, almost got elected a third time, and crossings at the border are down to the lowest levels in 40 years. But yet, and I find this fascinating, it's like looking at a big tank of fish. It's like, hey, look at that guppy. What's he thinking there? You have legislative Democrats who even further want to restrict local law enforcement from cooperating with the feds. Now, if it was guns, it would be the other way around. Oh, yeah, well, we're going to help the feds because those guns are what's killing Connecticut, but no on immigration. No. Again, from the Connecticut News Junkie, and again, just listen to this. Even if you're progressive, even if you hate Donald Trump, but you may hate Trump, but you may say, hey, maybe we're overdoing this just a bit. Almost 200 people signed up to speak today at a public hearing in Hartford, with hundreds more submitting written testimony on 3 bills that could reshape how Connecticut law enforcement interacts with federal immigration authorities and the broader public. So you may think that this Trust Act already hamstrings local law enforcement with the feds. Oh, but wait. Like those infomercials at 2 o'clock in the morning. They say, but wait, there's more. And now listen to this. Listen to this. Because you may think that, well, they can't go any more left. Oh, they can. And again, at a time when national Democrats are out there saying, yeah, we kind of, maybe we're wrong on immigration. Maybe we need to scale it back. Oh, no, not here in the People's Republic of Connecticut. House Bill 7212. Write this down if you're scoring at home, as the great Lindsey Nelson used to say. If you want to voice your opinion on this bill, House Bill 7212 would further limit state and local cooperation with ICE under the Trust Act. Supporters argue Connecticut should not assist federal authorities in immigration enforcement. And besides, who's going to cut my lawn? My God, if they take all these brown people away, who's going to cut my lawn? I'm kidding. It's a joke. Relax. Federal immigration forces are already tearing apart communities as is, and there's absolutely no reason to give them any assistance from Connecticut officials, said Hilda Desaraggio of the Hartford Deportation Defense. Now, let me ask Ms. Desaraggio something. Is she reading news that I'm not reading? No, I'm being completely serious about this. And we've had, our buddy Dan Harr coming up next hour. Even he wrote a story saying, hey, there are no mobs of ICE agents in Connecticut. What in hell is she talking about? And don't you hear this all the well, these, oh my God, families and communities are being ripped apart. Where? I'm just asking, where? Well, they're going into schools and churches. Well, where? I don't see this anywhere. To assist, as she continued, in pulling apart families and communities is to do the opposite of protecting and advocating for Connecticut residents. Again, where is the pulling apart of communities happening? Please show me. The bill seeks to close. Now, again, this is not a law. It's being discussed, but as pushback to Trump, they will do this. The bill seeks to close loopholes that allow certain forms of collaboration between local law enforcement and ICE. The bill would prohibit, you ready for this? This is what legislative Democrats, many of whom you vote for, this is what they want. The bill would prohibit compliance with ICE detainers. What an ICE detainer is, it's ICE saying, hey, we understand somebody told us you arrested this guy or gal the other night on this crime. They're illegals. They shouldn't be here. Please hold this person for us. We want to deport them. That's already difficult under the Trust Act here in Connecticut. It would virtually make it impossible for local law enforcement to do that. So they would make sure that ICE agents would not have extra time to decide whether or not to take the individual into federal custody unless it is supported by a judicial warrant. It would limit ICE access to detainees at local facilities, and it would prevent public agencies from sharing non-public personal info with immigration authorities. So, folks, you have to understand this. If you thought that we were soft in dealing with illegals to begin with, it's only going to get worse. Even as national Democrats are slowly realizing, hey, they're going to have to shift gears here to win stuff again, legislative Democrats in Hartford, among the people you and I elect, they are digging in like petulant children.
Coming up tomorrow on Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9.
Why don't we do more to avoid absentee ballot fraud and restore voter confidence in our state, especially in Bridgeport? Those questions resurfaced after 5 people in the city faced a judge last month for charges connected to the 2023 primary mayoral election. We're going to ask those questions tomorrow morning at 7:35 of Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas. She joins us in studio.
Melissa in the Morning, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
Do you have questions about real estate? Learn the secrets of real estate investing and get your questions answered during the Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Listen Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 for expert information about real estate investing, downsizing, and improvements before selling. Pat will help turn your real estate dreams into reality. Tune in and call The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Sunday mornings from 9 to 10, right here on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
It's time for the Market Scoreboard Report with Ron and Sana. Now on WICC 695.9, the Voice of Connecticut.
Stocks closed sharply higher but off the highs after the Federal Reserve indicated that 2 interest rate cuts were still in the cards this year, downgrading both growth estimates but upgrading inflation estimates this year, and saying that the path of policy is still somewhat uncertain given the Trump administration's fiscal policies and trade policies as well. Still, the market took it as a positive. The 2 rate cuts were still possible. Long-term bond yields held. At one point, we saw the Dow up as much as 600 points, finishing up with a 384-point gain to 41,930. The S&P up 61, a little more than 1% to 5675. NASDAQ up almost 1.5% or 254 points to 17,758. 10-year note yields dipped to 4.25%. The dollar firmed up. Oil up 26 cents on the day to 67.16 a barrel. And gold continues to flirt with new all-time highs, up another $12 to $3,053 the ounce. So now the Fed's out of the way. There'll be a focus on policy coming out of the White House going forward.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound to Milford is closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Parking lot starts back on Long Wharf, and northbound you have onlooking delays starting before the Milford connector. Wilbur Cross southbound heavy overflow traffic delays from North Haven down through the tunnel to Route 34 because of folks avoiding the problem on 95. Wilbur Cross northbound, an accident in Meriden at the 91 merge has things backing up towards Wallingford. And on 691 eastbound, an accident at exit 5, lower Fairfield County, 95 north, over an hour. Greenwich to Bridgeport, and maybe a few breaks along the way through. I'm Edge Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high in the low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
He's got a lot to say, and he's gonna say it. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
And you know who I've had about enough with? This guy, Mahmoud Khalil, this Palestinian activist. He calls himself a political prisoner in a new letter. This is the guy. Now, he's not a citizen. He's here on a green card. He is not a citizen of the U.S. But, of course, he's married to an American citizen. I guess they have a bit. And, by the way, hey, Mahmoud, if you cared about your wife and you cared about, I guess, your child who's soon to be born, you'd keep your mouth shut. Because now there's a possibility he might get booted out of the country. We've been talking about this whole thing for weeks, but my God, this guy, shut up. Acting like he's Martin Luther King here. Oh, my God, he's organizing protests, whatever. It doesn't matter whether he's pro-Palestinian, anti-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, anti-Hamas. Shut up. Have a little concern for your wife and kid, because you know what he's doing. He said, well, they're never going to throw me out because I'm married. Guess what, pal? The guy in the White House will. He calls himself a political prisoner in a new letter. So this guy comes here, whatever, and I guess he went through the student visa stuff. He's got a green card. But, show a little class. Instead of getting mixed up in protests that obviously were targeting Jewish students at Columbia and other schools, you had to be blind not to see that. Khalil led encampment protests at Columbia last spring. He was detained on March 8th, taken from his student apartment building to 26 Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan, then to an ICE facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And now he's in Louisiana. Good. Have yourself some gumbo when you're down there. In his letter, Khalil recounted the night of his arrest, which occurred while he returned to his residence with his wife, Noor Abdallah, an American citizen who's 8 months pregnant. All right. Hey, Mahmoud, if you gave a crap about your wife who's 8 months pregnant and your soon-to-be, hopefully, healthy born child there, you'd lay off this stuff. They gave you, apparently, every opportunity to stop this. So this guy's on a power trip. He doesn't care about his wife. He doesn't care about his soon-to-be-born child, 8 months pregnant, with an American wife. And he's putting her through this? What a creep. Khalil said he didn't know why he was being arrested or facing immediate deportation. Oh, you don't know, huh? Again, he does not have the same free speech rights people contend that you and I do. Students have long been the forefront of change, he said, leading the charge against the Vietnam War, standing on the front lines of the civil rights movement and driving the struggle against apartheid in South Africa. Today, too, even if the public has yet to fully grasp it, it is students who steer us toward truth and justice. Does that mean you hate Jews, too? Is that part of it? Mahmoud? Oh, my God. This guy. Stop it. Stop being, stop trying to be the phony Martin Luther King Jr. Good God. And if you cared, I'm sorry to say this, I don't usually try to judge, but come on. You got an 8-month pregnant wife here? And you even took part. You didn't think they would come after you? Stop. Khalil said he hopes to be able to see the birth of his child, stating in his letter, quote, knowing fully that this moment transcends my individual circumstances. I hope nonetheless to be free to witness the birth of my firstborn child. Well, maybe you should have thought of that. Being here as a student on a green card and getting involved in what you got involved in. Sorry. I had sympathy for this guy for about 5 minutes. A federal judge has blocked Khalil's removal from the U.S. while weighing a petition challenging his arrest. He's set to appear before an immigration judge on March the 27th. So listen, he knows what he's doing here. He knows what he's doing. If he's booted out of the country, he's going to become an international martyr, and he's going to continue stressing out his pregnant wife. But please, come on with this guy. Paul in Orange is here. Hey, Paul, what's up?
Paul, thanks for taking my call. If I could change the topic for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I have a friend who's we call him a Kennedy Democrat.
Yeah.
And I met him this morning for coffee.
Okay.
And, when Trump uses the term deep state, he would always make fun of it, say it's ridiculous, this and that.
Yeah.
I showed him this morning from the new declassified National Archives that Kennedy's chief historian, Arthur Schlesinger Jr., the most famous historian of the 20th century, at least the late 20th century, said that the CIA in the archives is a state within a state.
I saw that story. Yes, I did see that, Paul.
How fantastic, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Yeah, what Paul is talking about, these thousands of, and this was basically a document dump. Did you see this yesterday, the day before? There are little nuggets in there, folks. I don't know where, I guess because they've been released, I guess you can download PDFs. Good luck. There's 80,000 pages of them. But, and apparently they're not really presented in any sort of easy to follow way. So you literally have these Kennedy assassination buffs going through this literally page by page. And, that's one of the things. And I guess what I'm reading here is of anything really new in these Kennedy documents, some stuff about Cuba, some stuff about China in there. Look, there's no smoking gun. There's no definition of a second shooter out there. But there is some, little interesting stuff about, as Paul just said, certain testimony from certain names you recognize. So if you have nothing to do this weekend, find them. There's 80,000 pages of those online. As we head toward the top of the hour, right here, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
95 southbound to Milford is closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Parking lot starts back on Long Wharf, and northbound you have onlooking delays starting before the Milford connector. Wilbur Cross southbound heavy overflow traffic delays from North Haven down through the tunnel to Route 34 because of folks avoiding the problem on 95. Wilbur Cross northbound, an accident in Meriden at the 91 merge has things backing up towards Wallingford, and on 691 eastbound, an accident at exit 5, lower Fairfield County, 95 north, over an hour, Greenwich to Bridgeport, and maybe a few breaks along the way through. I'm Andrew Kress with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high in the low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Join us at Maritime Chevrolet of Fairfield and take advantage of our special Blazer EV retired service loaner fleet. Lease with $3,000 down for only $190 a month. Experience all-wheel drive and up to 279 miles of range only at MaritimeChevy.com.
Stock number 24288, 2012 miles, 10K miles per year, 24 months lease. Primary lender must approve. Excludes tax, reg, and dealer conveyance fee of $7.99.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Go to BetterNestEgg.com.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli.
Yeah, you can call us at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Call or text coming up pretty soon. Our usual midweek Wednesday, 5:15 check-in with our buddy, our pal, Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media. He wants to talk this week, of course, about his story regarding the possible ban of gasoline-powered leaf blowers. Man, we did 2-3 hours on that yesterday. Also about Medicaid, possible Trump funding cuts affecting Medicaid here in Connecticut. And again, if you don't know, most people do, but Medicaid is the medical program for what they call the indigent poor. And how many of us were told by elder attorneys, spend down mom and dad's money to this point, put the rest of it in your name or other names, and then you're on Medicaid. So we're all familiar with that. So all that and more coming up. Email, by the way, Paul, P-A-U-L, Paul at voiceofct.com, Paul at voiceofct.com. News time, top of the hour.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There are few specifics from the White House on President Trump's call with Ukrainian President Zelensky today. Correspondent Nancy Cordes at the White House with what we do know.
The president says it was a good call and that things are moving in the right direction, and Zelensky said the same. He said that it was a very productive phone call, even as he continues to insist that the Russians don't actually want peace.
Stephen Stestanovich of the Council on Foreign Relations.
The conditions that both sides are particularly attaching to this are going to make this extremely difficult. They're very far apart.
The next round of talks will be in Saudi Arabia next week. Israel today resumed ground operations in Gaza. That's on top of the airstrikes it's just restarted. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
Israel entered Gaza with some ground forces. It says it's a pinpoint operation, nothing like what was happening a year ago.
Andrew Boreen of George Mason University says it doesn't bode well.
Really sadly, tragically, it appears that the ceasefire phase 1 is over, and tragic to see that probably phase 2 is dead on arrival as of today.
The Federal Reserve has decided to leave a key interest rate unchanged for now. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell.
The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. Labor market conditions are solid, and inflation has moved closer to our 2% longer-run goal.
But 2 rate cuts could come this year. The Fed is watching the impact of tariffs on the economy and believes the unemployment rate will tick higher, along with inflation. A jury in North Dakota says Greenpeace is liable for defamation and other claims for interfering with the controversial Dakota Access Pipeline. Wendy Gillette has that.
The North Dakota jury decided Greenpeace must pay hundreds of millions of dollars in damages to Energy Transfer, based in Dallas, and its subsidiary, Dakota Access. The claims included defamation, trespass, nuisance, and civil conspiracy related to protests in 2016 and 17 against the Dakota Access oil pipeline and its crossing of the Missouri River upstream of a Native American reservation. Greenpeace denied the claims. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
The Vatican says the Pope is doing better and doesn't need an oxygen mask anymore. He's been hospitalized in Rome for more than a month with double pneumonia. A powerful storm is sweeping across the nation's midsection, bringing snow, high winds, and the possibility of hail and tornadoes as it makes its way east. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials finished the day 383 points higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you enjoy fatty foods, sweets, and alcohol? Who doesn't? Unfortunately, all those things put a lot of pressure on our liver. That's why pharmacist, best-selling author, and nutritional expert Sherry Torkos recommends Active Liver from New Nordic.
The liver is an incredible organ. It works nonstop to process toxins and chemicals from our food and drinks, medications we take, and even environmental exposures. As a health expert, I'm often asked how to support the liver's natural detoxification process and offset the effects of fatty foods, sugar, and alcohol. I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. This gentle plant-based supplement is an effective way to support your liver's vital functions as well as your energy and overall well-being.
With its powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, Active Liver is the perfect way to keep your liver healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver is available in both a delicious gummy or tablet. You can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
A Stratford man is facing criminal charges after police say he drove 119 miles per hour in a construction zone on I-95 in Norwalk. Police say 24-year-old Rakeem Thompson of Stratford was stopped shortly after a state trooper clocked him traveling at excessive speed on Monday. Thompson is charged with reckless endangerment and reckless driving in a construction zone. He was released after posting $2,000 bail. The state has revoked the medical license of a Shelton doctor who did not address his alleged mental illness. The Connecticut Medical Examining Board agreed yesterday to revoke the license of Dr. Khalil Hussein after he was suspended from practicing in November. A State Department of Public Health attorney indicated to the board that Hussein is a clear and immediate danger to public health and safety. Hussein did not respond to state efforts to notify him of the suspension and of the revocation actions. And today was Agricultural Day at the state capitol in Hartford. Over 40 agricultural organizations had booths set up to showcase their products in the first floor atrium of the Capitol. Governor Ned Lamont also led an awards ceremony where Connecticut farmers were recognized for their products. The focus of the annual event is to highlight the importance of the agricultural industry in the state. I'm Chris Williams with WICC News.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound to Milford is closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Parking lot starts back on Long Wharf, and northbound you have onlooking delays starting before the Milford connector. Wilbur Cross southbound heavy overflow traffic delays from North Haven down through the tunnels of Route 34 because of folks avoiding the problem on 95. Wilbur Cross northbound, an accident in Meriden at the 91 merge has things backing up towards Wallingford. And on 691 eastbound, an accident at exit 5, lower Fairfield County, 95 north, over an hour. Greenwich to Bridgeport, and maybe a few breaks along the way through. I'm Andrew Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high in the low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You're listening to Connecticut Today with Paul Piselli on WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, our buddy, our pal Dan Haar coming up right now, though, 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. By the way, I got a text earlier in the program. We kicked off the program today with new numbers from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection saying, hey, the bear population's not slowing down here in the state. We're going to maybe need a controlled bear hunt, to which about 1 million people called and wrote and texted and said, why do you want to kill Boo Boo? I'm kidding. But I got one text I didn't mention here. I got to mention this. This text is from, well, we can't say where it's from. I don't want to give out phone numbers with our new text line. Bear bacon tastes great. Is that a real thing? Or is that just a tongue-in-cheek attempted humor here? Because we were talking about, the fact that I said, well, can you eat bear? I mean, people kill chickens all the time and fish and fowl to eat. And I understand if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you don't. And I give you that. I actually do have a ton of respect for vegans and vegetarians and everything, because God bless you. I'm just lazy. Give me some. Well, I grew up around salami and bologna and everything. But yeah, this text from before, bear BEARs and black bear, I guess. Bear bacon tastes great. Is there such a thing? Honestly, I'm not asking this for effect. I need to know. I may have to seek this out using an air fryer I just got at home. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. And I'd love your input on this. Again, our Facebook question of the day, facebook.com/WICC, /voice of CT. People getting a little testy over this one. I asked a simple question. Bear encounters in Connecticut still far exceed those in other states, which they do, especially here in New England. Is it time for a controlled bear hunt, as in surrounding states? 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. And I have people commenting on this. They say, why are you talking about this again? Bear bacon sounds good. I have people accusing me of wanting to mow down Boo Boo and the Maine Black Bear and the Boston Bruin and everything. No. But again, people aren't listening. The commissioner of DEEP, Katie Dykes, is saying, no, people aren't listening. What did she say? She said non-lethal means are not working here. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So what does that mean? And listen, sadly, something is going to happen. In fact, I was just talking to somebody in the office section here at Connoisseur. His wife walks into their garage. Again, the garage door was up, and there's a bear in the garage. Oh, but leave them alone. Yeah, really? Right. So once again, if you want to chime in on this, please be nice. We have people getting a little testy again. It happens every day, folks. If you're on our station Facebook page, facebook.com/voice of CT, be civil, okay? You want to attack each other on your personal Facebook pages, that's fine. But the station page here is it's a public page. Is it time for a controlled, emphasize on the word controlled bear hunt in the state? Just say yes or no. Just give your opinion. Don't make fun of somebody's avatar. Don't call them fat. Please don't use libtard. There's no reason to use libtard. There's no reason to use tree hugger. There's no reason to use maggot. Stop. We're all about herb tea and biscuits. Before the break, Mike in Fairfield's here. Hello, Mike. What's up?
Hello, how are you?
Good, Mike. What's up?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
So about the bears.
Yeah.
I used to hunt a lot over in the Fairfield County area.
Yeah.
I saw the population growing because I would spot maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. Then the next year it would be 4 or 5. Then the next year it would be 8 or 9. You know, all the cubs and everything. Some of them you'd find tags on their ears.
Sure.
And then the new ones weren't tagged.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, even with the amount of population that I believe it's grown to, and as much as I love hunting, I don't see a purpose right now. The black bears are just giant raccoons. They're not going to bother you. I've had them climb up into my tree stand, and I've literally leaned over and said, boo, and it crawled back down and left. You know, they don't want to be bothered by human beings. They're just... You know, and if you find one in your garbage, knocking your garbage can over, put your garbage can in some kind of
Then,
thing.
Mike, why are the state scientists at DEEP saying this is getting worse and we have to do something? They estimate now 1,200 to 1,300 bears in the state. They say the bears are becoming more aggressive, and they just say that they're far more aggressive than in other states.
Well, I don't know about the number. I would believe that there's actually more than 1,300.
Yeah.
But as far as the area, like, for example, Fairfield County, I just don't see a reason.
No.
If you go up towards, like, Goshen or something like that, then then I get it.
And Mike, I do have to go. I'm up against the time-wise, but Mike, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I should have emphasized that, and Mike, that's a good catch from you. If they go ahead with this bear hunt, it will likely be in Litchfield County. As Mike said, the upper part of the state. So they will one of the compromises that may be offered on these bills next week is you don't do it statewide. You end up doing it only in Litchfield County.
Going out to eat for half the price? There's only one word to describe that. Sweet. It's another week of sweet deals at voiceofct.com. Half-price gift cards to your favorite locally owned restaurants and businesses. But when the sweet deals are gone, they're gone. And they go fast. So don't wait. Stay local and save some dough. Grab the half-price sweet deals now at voiceofct.com.
The winter is so unpredictable in Connecticut. We have ice storms, snowstorms, high wind, so much more. So don't let vulnerable trees on your property cause damage. And no, you don't need to wait until the spring to have a team come out and remove those trees. Hey, it's Melissa Sheketoff. And this winter, take advantage of K&J Tree Services' aggressive discounts. Whether you need tree trimming, removal, or stump grinding, they offer aggressive winter discounts off of all of their services. K&J even has certified arborists who are ready to handle winter's toughest challenges with unmatched safety and efficiency. Plus, K&J Tree offers financing for up to 60 months. No scams, no hidden fees, and rates as low as 0% for qualified buyers. Don't wait for the thaw. Protect your property and your wallet right now with K&J Tree Service. Call them today for a free estimate and unbeatable savings. That's 203-248-TREE or book your assessment online at kjtreeservice.com.
Recently, 1 in 4 people surveyed by Bankrate.com say they're literally losing sleep because of worries that they might not have saved enough to retire. Pretty much adds up because the number one fear of planning for retirement is running out of money. So if you're ready to get serious about planning for your future, you could start by listening to Mastering Your Wealth with host David Gagnon of First Financial Planners. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8 right here on WICC 600. Also get more details online at masteringyourwealthradio.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you. That's 1-888-FREEDOM, consumercellular.com, or our store in Shelton at Bridgeport Avenue and Parrot Drive. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Backup starts on 91 south in New Haven. Northbound onlooking delays start before the Milford Connector. Wilbur Cross southbound, lots of overflow traffic going through North Haven, Hamden, Woodbridge, Orange, Milford because of the problem and closure on 95 south. Lower Fairfield County, 95 north over an hour. Greenwich to Bridgeport, the Parkway really isn't much help. And on 84, eastbound busy, but moving through Danbury into the Super 7. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection, backup, and business phone, all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
For this evening and overnight, clouding over during the evening hours. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Any early fog tomorrow will lift by mid-morning. Cloudy in the afternoon with a high in the low 50s. Showers early Friday, ending by late morning. Partly sunny and windy later in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Tell Paul what he needs to know. Text 203-333-9422. It's Connecticut Today with Paul Pizzelli. WICC 600 and 95.9. The voice of Connecticut.
All right, here's a guy I should give an associate producer credit for yesterday's show. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Dan, I got like 2.5, 3 hours worth of calls yesterday from your leaf blower story. So I will make you an honorary executive producer. Thank you for the leaf blower story. Is this really going to happen?
I demand equal time. Most of your callers derided. But actually, no, I shouldn't say that, because one of the things I mentioned in the column for the listeners here is that I was surprised that the pro-ban people, the anti-leaf blower pro-ban people, in the written testimony of about 250 testimonies, outnumbered the defenders of these things 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So maybe your listeners weren't all pro leaf blower. You tell me.
Well, the comment that I got, Dan, from the listeners is it's a nice idea for some people, but they say, and you probably heard this covering it, the power, the technology, it's getting there. It's not quite there yet. That's what I heard from people.
Ban the other guy's leaf blower. That's what you want.
Well,
I'm in favor of a ban, just not on mine.
Yeah, and obviously there will likely be people grandfathered into this, right? Didn't you point that out in the piece?
There are lots of possibilities. Let me be clear about this proposed law. The proposed law, it was drafted by mistake. The intent of the Environment and Technology Committee was to draft a law that said ban on gas leaf blowers on state property by 2029, within 5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ban at the end of 29.
Yeah.
So a ban on state use of these things, not municipal, not private, not corporate, state use, right? And instead, somebody, the pen slipped, and somebody accidentally proposed a law and put it through that says an outright ban on the sale and use of gas-powered leaf blowers, either handheld or backpacks, by 2029.
Yeah.
And so that's the bill that was heard, but that's not the bill that's going to pass. Even a statewide ban in 5 years, I would say at best we have at best a 40% chance of seeing that pass.
All right.
Because not a lot of states have done this.
Now, are we sure that was an accident, Dan? Oh, no, we made a little mistake here. We didn't want it locally. Are we sure that was an accident?
Well, the state senator who claimed responsibility for the accident, Senator Lopes from New Britain, Rick Lopes, said he fully admits he would like to see a ban, an outright ban. And so what he said was that somebody, one of the constituents who was helping him, with the thinking, the language just landed in the wrong place. But in any case, yes, you're correct. And as I said in my column, clearly there are people who want to see an outright ban. But let me assure you that even Senator Lopes, who would like to see a ban, as well as others who would like to see a ban, do not realistically see a chance of arguing for it, let alone seeing it pass this year. That's not really on the table. It is on the table, but it's not on the table. As we say, it's on the table, but it's not on the table. Let's talk about a ban, an eventual phasing out.
Okay.
One of the main points that I make in the column is that everybody is talking about electric versus gas, and are the electric blowers good enough, and is the technology both affordable and practical and all that stuff? No. I'm saying that's looking at it the wrong way.
Okay.
The answer isn't electric versus gas.
Yeah.
It's that we have too damn much blowing of of our lawns to begin with. When we were kids,
I agree.
We didn't. We had, you raked the lawn
yes.
in the fall.
Yes.
And the rest of the year, in the spring, if you really cared about your lawn, you did what was called thatching. You remember that?
Yes. Oh, the thatcher, the roller with it was supposed to picks up the soil a little bit. Yes.
Yeah. We did, and then you would rake over and pull out all the dead stuff, and that was great for the lawn. So the point is that this idea that you have to blow, and also my neighbors here in West Hartford, and I'm sure in many other, I know in many other towns, every time the lawn gets mowed, all summer from basically May through October, every single time the lawn gets mowed, they're blowing.
I know.
Right? Now, what? Why? What are you blowing? You're blowing a few grass clippings that, by the way, are good for the yard? I don't get it.
Yes, I know. I don't get it. Hey, the other elephant in the room here. Dan, explain in the couple of minutes we have left, what's going on with Medicaid here? Explain that to my listeners.
Well, there's no explicit threat of a Medicaid cut as a result of the state of the federal budget, right? And so Republicans are able to say Medicaid cut, what Medicaid cut? But the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, is saying that you cannot cut $880 billion out of the federal budget without in some way touching entitlements. Mm-hmm. And so since Social Security and Medicare are, look, all three programs are third rail, but Social Security and Medicare are religion, right? And even the craziest Republican isn't going to cut Social Security, right? At least not for the foreseeable future recipients. Yeah. And so, there are lots of debates about means testing and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it should be off the table. I'm saying that that's an extreme. But Medicaid is a program that has been under pressure for some time. And listen, it's a state and federal program. Mm-hmm. Some states have richer. Connecticut has, as you obviously know, a rich Medicaid program. Not the richest, but pretty good. Mm-hmm. And in fact, it's fallen behind because the reimbursement rates are not sufficient enough for patients to get doctors. And so the Democrats believe that there's no way for the Trump tax cuts to go into effect without cuts to Medicare. Medicaid, I'm sorry.
Hairy stuff. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media, senior editor and columnist. Dan, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll chat next week, sir. Thank you.
Send the check. I'll give you the address for the check.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. So there you go. Dan Haar, Hearst, Connecticut Media saying, they won't touch Medicare. They won't touch Social Security, but Medicaid, that could be a different story.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
95 southbound closed between exit 40 and 39 because of a crash involving an overturned vehicle. Backup starts on 91 south in New Haven. Northbound onlooking delays start before the Milford Connector. Wilbur Cross southbound, lots of overflow traffic going through North Haven, Hamden, Woodbridge, Orange, and Milford because of the problem and closure on 95 south. Lower Fairfield County, 95 north over an hour. Greenwich to Bridgeport Parkway really isn't much help. And on 84 eastbound busy, but moving through Danbury into the Super 7. Traffic report powered by Optimum. Take your business to the next level with Optimum Business Essentials. Get reliable, secure internet connection, backup, and business phone, all for just $90 a month. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today. I'm Mitch Krause with WICC Traffic.
Clouding over this evening. There will be fog developing after midnight with a low near 40. Early fog tomorrow. Otherwise cloudy with a high and low 50s. Friday showers through late morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the low 40s. There will be a gusty breeze developing by midday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Connecticut paid leave. Making time for life's most important moments.
To recover from illness or injury.
To give your employees peace of mind.
To welcome home an active duty service member.
To help a loved one get better.
To get help for your mental health.
To welcome a new addition to your family.
To leave an unsafe home.
Learn more about accessing the benefits of Connecticut paid leave. Visit ctpaidleave.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text SKINNY to 323232 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text SKINNY to 323232 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SKINNY to 323232. That's SKINNY to 323232. SKINNY to 323232.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. The Federal Reserve is keeping its main interest rate steady, but indicated cuts will come this year. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
When you hear the Fed say no change, we can afford to be patient, I think this is that extra uncertainty around what's the tariff situation going to mean for the economy.
President Trump spoke to Ukraine's president today. There weren't a lot of details released, but analyst Steven Sistanovich of the Council of Foreign Relations believes that's telling.
Unfortunately, both the call to Putin yesterday and the call to Zelensky today make clear that, their interests, their requests and needs are not very much aligned.
Israel has resumed ground operations in Gaza. Linda Gradstein reports.
The families of these hostages are very upset about these latest developments and say that the government is basically condemning those who are still alive to be killed in the Hamas tunnels.
The Dow is up 383 points. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
WICC 695.9, Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Multiple Connecticut tenant advocacy groups celebrated a win last week after the Housing Committee voted to move House Bill 6889 on to a vote in the State House of Representatives. The bill calls for an expansion of Connecticut's Just Cause law, which provides protection from eviction to tenants with disabilities or who are over the age of 62. The proposed expansion of the law would extend those protections to a much wider range of renters. State Senator Rob Sampson was a vocal opponent of the bill, saying that it violated landlords' property rights.
The bill is egregious, in my view. It is going to completely undermine the world for a lot of small landlords in particular. It's overkill. It's like using a bomb to drive in a nail. There are not going to be more rental opportunities if this bill passes. There will be less. I don't know if there's going to be 10 less or 1,000 less or 50,000 less, but there will be less.
The biological mother of the Waterbury man who was imprisoned in his family home for more than 2 decades is speaking out. Sarah Lee Kessler has a report there.
She spoke exclusively and anonymously with NBC4 Connecticut, saying bluntly,
she could rot in hell.
The 56-year-old stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, is charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment. The 32-year-old man told police he set fire to her Waterbury house last month to get their attention. He was 5'9" and weighed just 68 pounds after his stepmom allegedly held him captive in a locked room for 20 years.
She needs to actually spend the rest of her life in solitary confinement and fed 2 cups of water a day.
Kimberly Sullivan is pleading not guilty.
More than $100,000 has been raised for that victim. The 32-year-old man weighed just 68 pounds when he was rescued from the home this month by setting a fire that brought an emergency response. The fundraiser is being run by Safe Haven of Greater Waterbury. Connecticut Democrats are warning about possible cuts to Medicaid funding. Governor Ned Lamont joined other party leaders at a rally yesterday at the state capitol. They claim cuts to Medicaid and other programs are unavoidable if Republicans stick to plans to drastically reduce federal spending. The governor said any significant changes in federal funding could impact the state's 2-year budget, which is currently under negotiations with the legislature. The number of deaths in Connecticut from accidental drug overdoses last year dropped to the lowest level since 2016. The state medical examiner's office says just under 1,000 people died in 2024 from accidental drug intoxication. That's a big drop from over 1,300 people who died from overdoses in 2023. The last time the number of drug-related deaths was lower than 2024 was in 2016, when 917 people overdosed and died. Funeral services were held today for Yale University police officer Gregory Swiatek, who died after suffering a medical event last week. Calling hours were held yesterday at a funeral home in East Haven, and hundreds of people came out to pay their respects. Swiatek's line of duty death funeral was today at noon at the Toyota Oakdale Theater in Wallingford. The officer leaves behind a 10-year-old daughter. 2 people have injuries after a crash at a busy intersection in Orange. Police say the collision happened last night at Marsh Hill and Indian River Roads. 2 people were treated at the scene before being taken to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of unspecified injuries. Both vehicles were heavily damaged by the crash, which remains under investigation. A Danbury man charged in a prostitution and sex trafficking case has pleaded not guilty. Luis Rivera was arraigned Monday in Danbury Superior Court on charges of promoting prostitution and conspiracy. The charges are related to an investigation that began in 2023 when an alleged victim reported that she had become a sex trafficking victim in 2021. Rivera remains in custody on $50,000 bond. It's brush fire season in Connecticut, and state officials are reminding residents to exercise caution. The season runs until mid-May, and residents are encouraged to clear their yards of flammable grass, twigs, leaves, and branches. 2024 was a difficult year for wildfires in Connecticut, with a total of 605 and over 500 acres impacted. Tom Trask from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection spoke with NBC about the need for Connecticut residents to alert authorities if a fire should start.
Be fire-wise and make sure that if you do start a fire, call 911 immediately. Without the help of the citizens of Connecticut, it's going to continue to be a fight for us to keep those fires small.
And March Madness begins this week, and there are multiple teams from Connecticut competing. The back-to-back national champion UConn Huskies men will take on number 9 Oklahoma at 9:25 p.m. Friday in Raleigh, North Carolina in the first round. The UConn women will open the NCAA tournament versus number 15 seed Arkansas State on Saturday at Gamble Pavilion at 1 p.m. on WTNH-TV News 8. The Yale Bulldogs will head to Denver to face the number 4 seeded Texas A&M.